started. Hello?
And we're live!
People of Post-Apocalyptia?
No.
Somewhere? Over the rainbow?
No.
Somewhere.
Over the rainbow.
Beneath the pale moonlight.
Okay, we have people listening, even though it hasn't popped up for me yet.
We have someone in the chat. Fandom Vortex says, hola! Oh, we have two people in the chat.
Who are you going to drown?
Can we take a moment to appreciate that we started live streaming like a few seconds ago and we already have some people who've come right in? Like, I feel, that makes me feel really good.
I know, right?
One of them is actually me, so...
No, but I mean, like, we've got two people in the
True.
chat, and I know one of them is me. We've got, and there's Krelak. Wait, but why is Krelak talking in the chat? Don't you have a mic, Krelak? You're recording us.
Yes, I do.
See, it's a secret
There we go.
podcast.
He's very quiet. He's the secret podcast.
No, we'll come up with a good name soon enough, as soon as the right joke hits. Just like the drowning joke.
Why did you put we might as well drown her too? Who are you
That was
drowning?
last episode. You gotta listen all the way to the end to
episode.
find out why.
I don't give a shit.
we kind of decided that what we really want to do is, since there are sea ponies in the MLP movie, we decided last week that we're going to do an episode of Derpy meeting the sea ponies. So we're just going to drown her. We're going to throw her into the water.
Hey,
Like,
if it makes you feel any better, IRL, I am actually a mermaid.
There you go.
So, technically, I am a sea pony.
Yeah, and so that was our final decision. Then is we're crafting a dual Wasteland Survival Guide episode idea.
I didn't consent to the drowning of my horse.
Well, didn't you understand? This is unconsensual podcasting.
No. This is unconsensual podcasting. That's unconsensual chapter writing.
Oh yeah, cool.
We need to have a whole new set of rules for unconsensual chapter writing.
Okay, but since Skybolt and I are since there are like 3 executive members in this chat, and Skybolt and I make up 2 of them, and you make up 1 of them, we kind of outnumber you. So, you know,
there's got to be some kind of
yes, but I'm the one who has to read them.
Among oligarchy. How does that work?
No.
How does that make me?
No.
The artist.
It is me, and it is Derpy. I count as 2.
Oh, really? Now, see, I think we should just have a completely new system of government, and I'm going to steal a joke from the newest season of Red vs. Blue, that the best system of government is a malarkey.
A malarkey.
A malarkey.
Yes, just meaningless talk and nonsense, because, you know, that's the system of government that they run.
So,
that's every system of government.
Basically, the April Fool's
chapter. Oh,
chapter.
yeah, that was awesome.
Oh, God, that was so much fun.
Oh.
I'm amazed that I got really bugged that no one called out the hidden dick, and no one called out the reference to the world's worst fan fiction that I stuck in there. The hidden dick was Skybolt.
Yeah, and you see, you have to wait for the second episode where you turn it around and you realize the meaningless shape is a dick.
All right.
No, as soon as I pulled up the first episode for Mums, he's just like, "Why is there a dick?" And I was like, "It's upside down, though." Yeah. He's like, "But it's a dick," and I'm like, "But it's upside down, though." The next episode, it's not upside down. He goes, "What the fuck?"
That was a fun chapter, all the way around.
Oh no, it was. Although I kind of wish we were able to keep the original name, because the original title name for it was Trapped when it released, but the script version was Derpy Loses Her Shit. Part 1 and Part 2.
Yeah, I wanted to make it a surprise. You know, that's the trap. Is that they don't know.
It's a trap.
It was fun because it was a triple entendre. It was a trap in the sense that it could have been a chapter about literal traps, like setting traps in the wasteland. It was a trap in the podcast, and then it talked about like trap horses.
Okay, so can we do like an actual chapter on traps and have it called being like Real Talk though? Actual
literally traps this time.
Literally, yeah. I think we could do that.
That would be a fun chapter. Absolutely.
So I was house sitting over the last week for the best dog owners in the world.
All right.
Like, so I own a Labrador. She is fantastic. She's basically just a small hip. And so she doesn't really require a lot of super careful, delicate care. You know, you wrestle with her, you give her some food and milk or water depending on the day, and
you can't give dogs milk. They're lactose intolerant.
No, they're not. Wait,
yes, they are. All animals after a certain age become lactose intolerant. The only exception to that rule is humans, but we're weird. So technically, because I'm lactose intolerant, I'm normal. All y'all are weird.
Well, fuck. That's slightly problematic, but it doesn't seem to have. It doesn't seem to have affected.
You should have chosen the Milky Wasteland perk.
Does she have like bad farts?
No.
Does she have bad poops?
I like that title name, man.
No.
Milky Wasteland.
Then your dog is weird. Because all animals after, I think, like 6 or 7 weeks, when they're supposed to be weaning off their mother, become lactose intolerant.
Yeah, no, maybe Labradors are just, more badass than other dogs.
Wait. Is it a chocolate lab? So you're, like, making chocolate milk?
Yeah.
Shut up.
Nice. We started giving them milk after one of my dogs got a lot older. She couldn't chew the food properly. And they seemed to like the milk more than they liked the water in the food. So we just wanted to make her happy. So we just went with that. And then we kind of just stuck with it. But anyway, so either way, the Labradors, so my dog is super hardy. But the people I was house sitting for, so it's one of my closest friends and his mother. Now, his mother has this policy. When she adopts an animal, when she adopts a dog, she doesn't adopt a dog that is... she doesn't adopt puppies, and she doesn't adopt any young, healthy dogs. She goes and looks for the oldest, sickest, frailest dogs because those ones never get it.
Frailest dog she possibly fucking can.
That's nice.
Yeah.
She sees the dogs with no leg and only one eye. Calls it lucky.
Okay. The funny thing is, so one of them had his tail cut off. One of them is paralyzed from the waist downwards. One of them was just a chronic asshole.
Apparently assholism is now a disease.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is.
So it needs to be treated with shock therapy and hydrotherapy.
Mm-hmm.
And waterboarding, just to be safe.
And waterboarding.
With the shock therapy,
Okay.
it's a good combo.
So
at the same time.
So essentially, these animals are very sick. So they require way more careful care. So their food is calculated down to the gram. So dog A gets 45 grams plus a spoon of wet food. Dog B gets 75 grams plus a spoon of wet food and powder. Dog C gets, 125 plus...
Is the dog's called Powder?
Pardon?
The dog is called Powder?
No, plus powder, like this medicine powder stuff.
I thought the dog's name was Powder, and I'm like, what the fuck?
No, the dog's name is Kayla. Dog C gets 125 grams and gravy, but no wet food. And dog D gets 145 grams plus gravy. So it's kind of like... And they have to all be fed separately because they all sort of fight for each other's food. So you've got to lock them in 4 different rooms around the house. So and it doesn't help that the one without a tail doesn't trust or like humans. So trying to get him to eat is a nightmare. And so this was like me in the morning and in the afternoon. It became a half-hour process just to feed the dogs. And it didn't help that the parrot that they had there as well, the African grey parrot, is the world's biggest dick. Like,
so we fix dickism by just strangling it lightly.
I'm not going to strangle the parrot. I need to get paid. I like money.
No, it's a dick. You strangle it.
So wait. When you make a lot of money, this expression has to exist. In South Africa, does it feel randy? You feeling quite randy?
Fuck off.
Also, Needle, were you trying to make a hand job joke there?
That was a hand job joke.
Yes.
Yeah. If you want to make money, just lightly strangle a dick.
Exactly.
Yeah, with your
That was
$20
a joke.
Yeah.
Or 100 grand.
$20.
Actually, no, that's what's the price equivalency? I think it's 13. So that's
Oh no, $20 is about 250 to 300 grand.
300 rand. Hand job.
Unknown Pony says hi. Hi, Unknown Pony.
You know what's crazy is yen. Yen and like pesos, like Mexican pesos, are ridiculous, like high compared to. They're more like comparable to cents than dollars. So I remember when I was learning Spanish in high school, they were like, "Oh yeah, this is just 100,000 pesos." I'm like, "What? It's a sweater." It's like, yes. So.
Actually, it's not so bad off of the rand.
No, it's not.
It is 18 Mexican pesos is $1, and which is actually not that bad considering that the South African rand is rand $2.
Xe.com is the best website.
It's 13. Oh, it's 13 now.
Yeah.
Holy shit, it's gone down. For a while, we were sitting at 60.
Oh.
Like friggin'. It was actually like. Which I love getting paid by Americans because every time you guys pay me, I make so much money. And essentially, it's kind of like I end up watching the politics of the world to figure out when I'm going to get to figure out when I should get paid in advance. So shit like every time my president says something stupid, the value of the rand goes down. And like it's actually kind of terrifying. The last few years, you could watch it go down.
Nice.
So
I wish that happened in America, because our president just fucking says stupid shit all the time. Let's just get thrown into World War II Germany. Why not?
Hang on. So essentially, I had to get paid before Trump became president because for like a day or two, it recovered really quickly, but for like a day or two, the markets reacted really poorly. Then they skyrocketed again. So it's like, pay me first, so that before the American dollar drops. But then I got really, really pissed off because the American dollar got a bit stronger afterwards. Because as it turns out, the markets kind of liked him. So I should have fucking waited a little bit longer. And that's like one of the only times I will breach our no talking about politics thing.
All you have to do is just be assured that you're not as bad as Zimbabwe. That's all you have to be, feel good about. It's just like in South America, they all just say, at least we're not Venezuela right now, which is eating zoo animals.
The problem is that
Venezuela, oh my god, it's like $500 for a Coke in Venezuela.
I mean, Venezuela is really in, like, Reichmark territory where, like, the hyperinflation was, like, literally at the end in, like, the 30s, it was, like, they were printing German money on anything. Leather, frickin' paper. I've seen some of it, because I've been to all these museums, and it was scary. And, yeah, Venezuela's got to be careful right now. Stuff can get crazy when money becomes worthless. That's why you go to a gold standard, so you don't deal with this fiat bullshit. Gold and pure assets. That's what matters. Like land. Land is very important no matter where you live.
Actually, right now, silver is doing better than gold.
Silver too. Absolutely.
So yeah.
Precious metals.
All of that is my explanation to Needle Stitch and Skybolt on why I have an African grey parrot dramatically staring into the camera as a profile picture. Because it's evil parrot, and he needs a dramatic
Why would you choose a gray parrot when you get one of those like crazy like multicolored ones that look like they poop rainbows?
Because it's African.
So what? They don't have color in Africa yet?
Because it's African.
What is this, like 1950s television? It's like, oh, we haven't upgraded to color yet.
Skybolt, we're African.
No, because the other parrots aren't typically located in Africa. They're in Madagascar or other tropical regions.
Madagascar is basically Africa.
Shut up.
Africa. It is Africa.
It's close enough.
It's not Africa. It's an island off Africa. Thank you.
Yeah, plus no one has actually claimed the territory of Madagascar, so we don't really know if it's Africa or not.
I thought the French claimed it in like the 1700s.
The French claimed it, but it was more like a soft claim. We're just like, hey, this is cool, and then all of a sudden they're just like, you know what? There are way too many things that can kill us here.
Yeah. My experience with Madagascar is in cartoon DreamWorks movies, so that's, yeah.
God, I hate that movie so much.
Why?
Just, pardon? I'm like I think I might be one of the only people who didn't find Madagascar funny. I thought it was just really stupid.
Well, that's DreamWorks. It's sort of a dichotomy because DreamWorks got its start in Jeffrey Katzenberg's absolute hatred of his old bosses at Disney, and so that's why Shrek was such a well-received movie. Is because it was just this pure rage of Katzenberg for having left and not feeling appreciated of his animation studio leadings. So DreamWorks is sort of formed out of spite.
So a lot of movies that are formed out of spite because of Disney actually do really well. Like one of the good examples I like to use, because I fucking hate this movie, but I love the movie at the same time, is Secret of NIMH.
Oh yes,
I love Secret of NIMH.
Yeah, Don Bluth was the same way.
It is a great movie. I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I hate it because when I was a kid, my dad used to tell me that if I was bad, the rats from the Secret of NIMH would eat.
Oh no!
Oh,
that's mean.
And then Pennywise from It was going to help them drag me down to the sewers.
That's good parenting.
Holy fuck.
That sounds like a Grimm's Fairy Tales parenting, which is, if you don't listen to me, a monster is going to come out and eat you.
Right? So, like...
It's a very German mindset. I'm sorry about that.
You know what's really fucking weird about The Secret of NIMH? It's one of the few occasions where the adaptation from book to film the film got it better than the book. Like, the book was not good. I'd say it's average at best, whereas the film is excellent. It is like it took everything from the book and improved it. There's some stupid ass shit there. My personal favorite is we're working on the plan. He pronounced plan with a capital P.
Oh,
that isn't. Yeah. How do you pronounce something with a capital letter? That's not how anything
Secret
works.
Secret of NIMH abridged. How the fuck do you pronounce something with a capital letter?
I'll be honest, I actually saw the Nostalgia Critic review of Secret of NIMH first, and he really, really loves that movie, and so I was very much built up to me that then when I watched it like 6 months ago, I was like, it's alright, See, I grew up on Land Before Time and All Dogs Go to Heaven. Those were my Don Bluth, heart-wrencher movies. And then when you find out after the fact what happened to Ducky / the girl from All Dogs Go to Heaven, then your childhood is ruined. Because holy cow, that's a horrible story.
Yeah, her dad fucking
with a shotgun because he was jealous of her instant child fame when he was just a poor, a tradesman. He's just jealous drunk, yeah.
Which is really weird because also, for the record, I loved Land Before Time. I love
the music in the original especially is so good.
Yeah.
Honestly,
that film still got to me. Like, I still remember Littlefoot and I think it's Sarah the Triceratops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That section where it's towards the end of the film when they have that fight. Like, that still disturbs me.
I love how Don Bluth also brought over the infinite direct-to-DVD sequels from Disney, because Land Before Time's got, 30 of them now. I remember I grew up with the first, 6. The first 6 are the first 5 sequels. They were all right. I remember of liking a few of them especially well.
Yeah. The one where Littlefoot finds his father was good. I quite liked that sequel.
Yeah, what was it? The second one was when they meet Chomper. Then this is Wayback Machine for me. With the little purple T-Rex.
I love that one. Chomper was my favorite.
The third one, I always forget. Also the fourth. And then the fifth was cool because they leave the Great Valley and they go to this island. And that was actually really neat. So.
Yeah.
Oh God! Yeah. All my childhood feels are coming back now.
It was a great. I liked Land Before Time. It was good. Unfortunately, we also, in response to Land Before Time, we got that other film, that CG film, Dinosaurs, which was just horrible.
Yeah, that was so weird. That was the bottom of late '90s, Uncanny Valley CGI. Yeah.
Yeah. Which just, oh God. Okay, to be fair, it still looks better than Anthem's animations.
For For me, if I were to say that about my favorite childhood thing on TV, it would be Balto.
Yeah, yes, me too. I love Balto.
God, Balto. Yeah, no, Balto was great.
But what about the sequel, though?
Oh my gosh, we don't talk about sequels to good movies like that.
What about the sequel? I thought it was okay.
It was shitty.
It was okay.
Sequels, yeah, no. Sequels are never
okay
really
go in this circle. Things that are not okay go in that circle way over there.
That's how most of these movies work. The sequels are like, okay.
Hey, just you guys wait for EAST Corp's sequel to Fallout Equestria.
Oh yeah,
we're doing.
Is that like?
Equestria, it'd be get in, dinosaurs.
That's like not even a lie either. What James is saying, because there was actually an active production planning group of a sequel to Fallout Equestria, in the idea that we would finish the series and then what are we gonna do next? Like. Holy cow, talk about great expectations.
Okay, you know what the worst thing was? I was an active member of that group.
That's part of why I'm bringing
So you are now trash.
Like, I think I wrote about 5 completed scripts for that sequel.
No way.
Trash.
Yeah. We were going to do a whole thing about, because like what we kind of saw with it was that in Fallout Equestria, it kind of, they do the stuff with the Enclave, but then they completely skip. KCAT really skips over the activation of the elements of harmony and cleaning and activating the Gardens of Equestria and all that stuff. Like she completely skips over that. And so, like we were gonna do something set in that 10-year time gap, going into Gord trying to set up her new Canterlot Republic, and the fact that that's going to fail.
I agree with that. Yeah.
And yeah, so we were going to go to all of that, and maybe we wanted to really go into the fact that the Wendigos never pitched up, despite the fact that they were in such a state of violence and disharmony. So we were going to try and explain some of that. So there were some decent concepts, but God, between the Great Expectations and the fact that overall the story we had put together was shite, and that if you take that script to anyone who was involved with it now, we all sort of hiss at us. Don't touch me with that. What were we thinking?
See, I actually wouldn't be opposed to making some like post stories. Like here, that was actually one of the geneses of the Ghoul Doctor's story. Is that when I finished Fallout Equestria, I'm instantly like, okay, that's cool and all, but they just committed, like, ghoul genocide. They, like, magically removed all, a lot of the radiation from the wasteland, so now they're all going to starve to death. And I immediately thought of poor Derpy and all these other characters you grew to love. No. And I'm like...
It was a necessary sacrifice.
It's basically, like, it's like the end of Samurai Jack.
Oh my gosh! Don't get me started again.
We'll just erase all these characters from existence. It's cool. It's a necessary sacrifice.
Yeah, and then we'll also take the love interest, so he doesn't even get. Well, he's going to get some anyway. He's going to have every woman in the world throwing themselves at him. But still,
true secret ending to Fallout Equestria. Homage goes to get married to the machine that Little Pip's now become. Like they hang a veil. Over a wedding veil over the whole Single Pegasus Project tower, like the weather she marries the weather, and then suddenly Abba just like, actually wait, there's a paradox, and then she vanishes and dies.
Well, that escalated quickly.
Well, I mean, it's exactly.
She just has to plug herself in the right way. What were we just about to say? That's why Ghoul Doctor character, then he's looking for a solution. So I wanted him to be just a little nugget of hope that the ghouls could survive somehow after the activation of the Gardens of Equestria. So, because I'm a sap like
that. Also, speaking of Fallout Equestria 2, I did actually start working with Needle on a parody of that very concept.
What?
Which we never continued work on. I really should bring back production on that. Was the, don't you remember that song parody that I gave you?
I've also had strep throat.
Oh yeah, are you feeling better, by the way?
No. I mean, I was supposed to... No. I was supposed to send you a demo of how that was supposed to be done.
Please
I want to hear a demo of James singing something. That sounds awesome.
I've heard.
Yeah.
Not great.
Yeah. Okay, so essentially, if I'm going to let the cat out of the bag, it's basically, it's a time for heroes has come again. Someone needs to go and wake up Little Pip. And then the poor sod who wakes up Little Pip is treated to Little Pip singing You're Welcome from Moana.
Oh my gosh.
But the Little Pip interpretation, fucking, I went and rewrote the entire script to match, the entire song to match Fallout Equestria, and it is glorious.
I have a whole plan of I have a whole bunch of songs, including some with a female singer that we hopefully may or may not can get Needle to sing in on. So it well, we have so many fun ideas. We just finally I'm going to have the free time to work on them now. Hopefully, it's I have this big holiday weekend, and then I'm settling into my new job. Hopefully,
give me maybe a few more days to fully heal up because my voice does sound better.
This is long term.
But
yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I'm I'd rather not strain it just yet. I still got to do the fan chapter for Wasteland Survival Guide.
Which is so exciting. We want to thank our lovely patrons. One of them wanted for 1 month decided to contribute enough, so they
just use they.
TAC Helicopter decided to write a great script for Wasteland Survival Guide, and so it's going to be so fun, and we are so happy for them, and hope we do it justice.
Oh shit! Krenak just brought up a really important point in the chat. How does Little Pip survive in the SPP tower? How does she eat? And what happens when she dies?
I'm gonna say Celestia's magic whatever keeps her alive forever. Because why not?
Celestia's magic cock.
Oh yeah. She gives her...
I mean, cause she's... I was gonna say, she's gonna have to unhook herself, some sooner or later. Cause something will either happen to Little Pip or something will happen to the technology. It'll have to run out at some time.
She's a unicorn, though. She has the magic. I'm sure she could sustain it.
I think it's like Vault 112, where because they're in the pods, it's almost like suspended animation.
You mean 111?
No, I mean Vault 112 with the Doctor, Dr. Little Girl.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you were talking about in Fallout. Fallout.
No, I mean Fallout 3, when they're all in Tranquility Lane. That was it with Dr. Little Girl.
Yeah.
Dr. Little Girl.
Yeah, Dr. Evil Little Girl.
Are you surprised to hear my voice come out of this small child? This definitely isn't some kind of psychotic manifestation. Yeah, Dr. Braun. Psychotic manifestation of me appearing as a little girl.
Skybolt, please do a thing in Confessions where Green Shift talks out of a little furry's
oh my
body.
God, that gives me ideas.
Please do it.
a really shitty apple bloom costume.
Oh my gosh.
Poorly made together. You can obviously see the stitching. One side is drooping to the side.
He tries to do her accent. Apples.
Yeah.
Apples. Oh, then he ends up starting to sound like Peter Lorre. That would be awesome. I just watched a documentary about classic Hungarian-American actor Peter Lorre, and that was very sad, but it was also cool. He has that creepy voice because of his accent.
Oh, God.
Because what happened at the start of all this was I saw a Looney Tunes cartoon, and last night I was just I was testing all the equipment. Finally, Comcast came and freaking set up my internet. So I just popped on that, and I saw that again. And I remember a lot of Looney Tunes parodying that guy. And I didn't know his name until I scrolled down the comments and finally figured it out, Peter Lorre, which I'll hopefully never forget now. And then I saw a documentary and watched that. And yeah, it's a sad but fascinating life. Great actor.
So, there is something that we do have to discuss.
What?
The new movie trailer?
The new movie trailer.
Holy cow, that looks adorable.
I am really fucking impressed. That one CG element with the airship was stupid. That was really, really amateurish animation because it didn't match at all.
It was okay.
But everything else about that film's trailer just blew me away.
I do love the new animation. The ears are still a low point for me, but everything else is so fuzzy and candy colored, and especially Pinky, who got a lot of highlights in the trailer. I'm like, oh my gosh!
And how smooth is the animation?
Yes.
Like I don't think I've ever seen MLP's animation that smooth.
Well, you know why? Hasbro has, like, oodles of money. I mean, they're on the 5th Transformers film, which ranked in $1.2 billion each. So Hasbro has all the money.
Yeah, absolutely. They have enough money to throw at it.
Freaking Michael Bay.
It is just... I'm just, like, fucking... Actually, Craddock, you're here. You're a puppet animator. Tell who's used both Flash and Toon Boom. I want to know. How
can you show me?
As far as I'm aware, puppets are fairly rigid and limited, which is why MLP's animations look the way they do. And so surely is there a lot more? Does it look from the trailer, from your perspective, like there's a lot more frame by frame drawings and animation there? What do you think?
Well, based on my experience with Toon Boom, it's a program where you can use puppets, but it's also a program where you can use traditionally drawn animation. So when I saw the trailer, first off, when I saw the trailer, like I enjoyed Tempest Shadow like a lot, and secondly, about Toon Boom itself, it looked like it was a combination of traditional and puppet animation for me. Because like Toon Boom, there's a thing about the program where you can make your animation look 3D, but it's still a 2D program.
I feel like most of the animated movies use a lot of different things together. You know, that's
But this feels like they've used a lot more. A lot more cell animation than they did puppet animation.
Yeah, like the lighting is so much better.
Yeah, but like if you look at like the old 2D Disney movies, there's that smoothness and fluidity that you only get.
Holy shit! I'm rewatching the scene, and you're right. The airship is like freaking Kingdom Hearts 1 level animation graphics. Yeah. What in the hell? I didn't take a good look at this the first time. What the heck is this?
Yeah.
No, okay. So while we're talking about ponies. What about fucking Glim Glam?
Glim Glam and Shim Sham.
Running. What about Glim Glam running like a horse when she's a human?
I haven't seen that.
You haven't seen that? She's like, she comes out of the portal. Because the portal's open again. She comes out of it and she starts talking to Shim Sham. And then they're like, okay, let's go do the thing. And she takes off running like a horse on all fours.
I still have to see that. That's awesome, though.
Yeah, because I think the English version only just came out today or something.
Oh, I just watched the Turkish version.
Oh, nice.
I haven't. Yeah. I wanted to watch it in English because, you know, Sunset Shimmy meaning Glimmy Glam. Is like
Shim Sham and the Glimmy Glam.
The Shim Sham Glim Glam. It's like friggin' I feel sorry for Trixie because I think Glim Glam's about to have an affair.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm just assuming that's what's gonna happen.
No, it's gonna be a sweet threesome.
Yeah, there we go. Oh my god, no, the worst problem is that Glim Glam's gonna meet human Trixel Pixel. And then she's going to be like, well, I mean, technically it's not cheating, so, you know, while I'm here.
No, I love it. I'm rewatching it now, and it's such nice
Reaper Vermont.
Yeah, no, this trailer was just, oh god. And also, I gotta say, I was expecting the Storm King to be, I wasn't expecting him to deliver the funniest line of that trailer. Like, that was... I wasn't expecting him to be that comedic. It was beautiful.
Also, did you see that one?
With the whole,
it's the
magic of friendship and ponies and magic. That was too perfect.
Oh, the face is already a great meme face.
He's being the mocking SpongeBob.
But did you not see the two guards that were Pulp Fiction? It's amazing.
The face and the delivery of his lines, fucking, oh god, that's going to be really, really great. Though I was kind of bugged that we didn't get to see more of the cat character. We got to see bits and pieces of him, but friggin' pirate ponies, a pirate griffin, pirate parakeet.
So my current plan is essentially to wait, probably opening weekend, and then just look at the latest showing. Like maybe they'll have a 9 or a 10 o'clock showing, and then just show up there with all the other, all the other bronies.
Right.
Because I remember I saw the first.
Wouldn't have the wherewithal to go towards a later time. They would go with all the kids.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like stepping on their, their fun either. It's like, it's sort of a duality. Like, I remember I saw Equestria Girls at one of those special screenings, actually one down in San Francisco. I drove 120 miles, and I picked up my very old brony friend, Moonsy, from my very first collabs, and we went down and saw it, and it was so fun, but it was like half the theater were bronies, and half of them were like normal, target demographic. Well, I'm not even sure if you can say that anymore, because I feel like they half make the series for bronies now. So, I don't know. Either way, I want them to have their own fun, and so I'm going to go for a later time.
Oh, god damn, yes. I think before I saw the trailer, I was definitely sort of sitting there with my fingers crossed with the whole... please be good, or at the very least, please don't suck, please don't suck, please don't suck. And I think for now, from the trailer, I am sufficiently satisfied. Like, even despite the edgelord design of Tempest Shadow, like, I quite like her. I think like the lines she had some decent enough lines, and the delivery was good. So I think she'll also be kind of a fun character.
Chaotic Babies in the chat makes a good point, too, in that this is one of the first 2D animations since Princess and the Frog, which I love. I think that's a fantastic movie, and I kind of lament the fact that now all the Disney films are the same-ish as Pixar with the stupid 3D animation. I miss the solid 2D animation, and that's another reason I'm going first weekend, because that's when it counts. That's when the studio looks at their money intake. So if you want to see more of these, see it the first weekend at some point, if you can.
And also, I cannot stress this enough. I cannot stress this enough, and Skyblock knows because I know he's watched this, but there are great 2D films coming from Cartoon Saloon in Ireland, so shit like The Secret of Kells, Song of the Sea, their upcoming film Breadwinner. If you want to see more 2D animations, you've got to support their stuff as well. Also, because I'm going to be honest here, they make some of the coolest goddamn films ever. I mean, The Secret of Kells was
the color, the design, the story, that was, bar none, fantastic.
Thank you.
It's a film that you can't. They're films you can't do in any other. They have to be done in 3D animation to get that sort of layout and design, and it helps prove why 2D is still relevant. So, like on the one hand, I wouldn't say that this movie is one of the first, since Princess and the Frog to be coming out. Of the 2D animations, but I do think
I should say from like the American corporate, Hollywood kind of.
Yeah, I suppose technically Ireland. That's from the north. We always lump the UK with the West, but that's the north.
Yeah, it falls under foreign film category here. I'm just saying, I wish Disney would sink.
You only take your keys with you; those are important.
Yeah, I just wish Disney and now we have this from Hasbro. I want more of them to sink money back into 2D because I love the look. I mean, I get it. It's easier to animate those 3Ds in a lot of way because you have this full model kind of thing. It's like, I don't know. It takes away some of the magic to me. And also, it kind of crosses into Uncanny Valley territory, too. Like, I remember watching that Tintin movie from, 4 years ago or something, and some of those characters were a little bit creepy. Like, the too human of a texture on this very, misproportioned-looking human shape. Ugh.
I never knew that the Tintin movie was written by Stephen Moffat and Edgar Wright. Like, that was. Which,
I mean, the story was fine. Some parts of it, it's just a little bit weird.
Yeah, but friggin' Edgar Wright is just fantastic. So I'm usually up for anything he does.
I lament to say I haven't seen Baby Driver yet, which we could have talked about otherwise.
I would have seen Baby Driver on the very first, like, as soon as it came out, but it's not available in South Africa until August.
Oh no!
Which is annoying because I am more excited about seeing Baby Driver than I am about seeing the new Star Wars movie. Like, that's sinking.
Well, yeah, that's because it's going to be written better than the new Star Wars movie.
Obviously, but well, I mean, it's it's from the new Star Wars is on the bright side. It's from the same director who gave us the best episode of Breaking Bad. But
and Looper was good. I don't know. I don't really have faith in it right now. Like, ever since I saw episode 7, it's sort of been like naturally realizing that Santa Claus doesn't exist. You're like, you start thinking about it and piecing things together, and you're like, wait, why did my dad own a suit like Santa did? Wait a second, how come Santa sounded like my dad? And, it's all those little things that kind of broke down episode 7 for me, where it's like, that actually wasn't a good movie, and now I don't have faith for the series.
That, right? All right, cool. Just checking that Skybolt didn't. So I was just my little brother's in the room, so I was just double checking with him that you didn't just destroy the magical Santa Claus for him.
Sorry. I assume all of our listeners are full-on Equestria fans.
Okay, the bright side is he says that he already figured it out, so you didn't just destroy Christmas for my little brother.
Sky.
To be honest, my parents never they never told me like a Santa was like real. I never like same with the Tooth Fairy. I just never really had those, so I don't know.
Oh my god, my parents. So I figured out Santa wasn't Santa when I was about maybe 8 or 9. I want to say I don't exactly remember the exact year. But my parents still kind of made us believe Santa was real for the younger kids. They're like, if you don't believe in Santa, then you're not getting the Santa present. And the Santa present was usually the expensive one that everybody shared, like the Wii.
Nice.
So they got us a Wii, but it was from Santa, and it was for everybody to share. So anytime it was a Santa present, it was generally for the kids to share. So if I was like, oh, I don't believe in Santa, then my mom's like, okay, well, then you don't get to use the Santa present because obviously it doesn't exist.
Oh, that's funny.
Snap.
So I had to say that Santa was real for the younger kids because my youngest brother is going to be 4 this year. So there's 18 years in between us. So even though I didn't believe in Santa at the time, my brother Jacob still did. Samuel did. Well, was Samuel born then? I think Samuel was
Samuel Jackson?
No, Samuel wasn't born. No, my brother. And then slowly I just started having more younger brothers, and they were all at the age where Santa was still real to them. So I never really said, oh, Santa's not real to them, because then I wouldn't get to use the Wii.
Oh my god.
That's a great control, actually. That's very clever of your parents.
Yeah. Yeah, that was very, very... my parents had never had that conversation. I kind of just figured... you kind of just work it out.
I just always assumed he was a fairy tale figure. I don't know. That's just me.
And then, when I figured out the Tooth Fairy wasn't real...
I should reiterate, though, that I'm half German, so our family are pretty hardcore when it comes to...
I figured out when Mom put money under my pillow while I was awake, and I was looking at her. She was looking at me. She slipped it under, thought I didn't notice, and I did.
Okay, just checking with my brother.
Different accent than you.
Okay, I was just checking with my brother that Needle didn't just destroy the Tooth Fairy for him.
Do you both have a different...
I'm smaller than you in most days, so I probably already wouldn't know. I probably already wouldn't.
Yeah.
Little dude, no, this is actually a happy ending story, okay? So...
what kind of happy ending story, Needle?
So when I figured out that Tooth Fairy wasn't real, it was probably about the same time as I realized that Santa wasn't real, right?
Santa's not
so whenever I lost a tooth...
Nothing, I'm sorry.
What?
I'm sorry, I forgot about the lag. I won't make my little comments.
So whenever I lost a tooth, it would just pop out, it would come out, and I would just take it to my mom, and my mom would give me like $10. She'd just rip out her wallet and give me money. It's like...
No.
So like when I lost my very last tooth, I remember it. We lived in Stockton at the time, and it was me, my mom, and my grandma Sue, and we were all sitting in the kitchen, and this last one, it was a bit difficult. It kind of hurt, so it was hard to get out. But eventually, my mom just kind of stuck her hand in and then yanked it out. It was one of the front ones. And she's sitting there, and she goes, okay, since this is your last tooth, here's $20, and we're going to take you to the store and get you some ice cream.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, good lord.
So they gave me $20, and I could use the $20 on whatever I wanted. I don't remember what I bought, but I'm pretty sure I was like maybe 12 at the time, so I bought something that 12-year-old likes, like video games. Pretty sure I bought a video game. I don't remember.
Well, I mean, that seems like something that
lots of people would like.
Adults like too. Yeah. That doesn't really stop it being 12, Needle.
No, it was probably like a Bratz video game.
Oh.
Like just like something that I was into at the time. I don't remember what I was into at 12. So
I think I was really into the Fable games when I was 12.
Yep, actually no, I do remember. It was a Harry Potter, the fourth Harry Potter game.
I actually really liked
For
the
the
Harry
GameCube.
Potter. It was a good one.
I learned long ago not to buy movie tie-in games, so I don't think I played that.
The original Harry Potter games were actually really good, though. That was the weird thing.
The Spider-Man games were good.
They were
the early PlayStation 2, like Spider-Man 2. That was awesome.
Yeah, Spider-Man 2 was fantastic. Some of the early Harry Potter games were really, really solid. The Lord of the Rings strategy games were really... God, I loved those.
Battle for Middle-earth.
Yeah, Battle for Middle-earth. But, I mean, most Lord of the Rings games were awful. I mean, it was basically just a tradition of terrible Lord of the Rings games until Shadow of Mordor came out.
Okay, Vermont, I have a question.
Yes.
Why does your brother have a slightly
I was
different
going to
accent
say
than
the
you?
same thing. It's bothering me. It sounds
he?
like you're from opposite
Yeah.
sides of England.
From opposite sides of... Okay, so we both sound like we have English
Yes.
accents. All right.
Your dad... his dad got so mad at me when I said that he had an Aussie accent.
Your brother sounds like Ben from Rooster Teeth in those early podcasts.
Okay, so funny thing is, my little brother's name is
Oh
Ben.
my gosh. Oh my gosh. We're breaking the conditioning.
No. Oh my god. Surprise, my 11-year-old brother is Ben from
Don't
Rooster
talk to your
Teeth.
family. That's awesome. No, it is a little disconcerting for us here. I mean, it all sounds the same, really. I mean, all the accents kind of blur together, but
I
The
don't know
accents
why.
don't blur together, Skybolt. That's like a super white thing to say.
No, I'm.
That's like a super white American thing to say. All you
That's
accents
racist.
sound the same. Dur.
Racist. No, I was being intentionally. I was self. It was a joke at our own expense. That was the whole point. I was being anyway. To be fair, though, most people east of the Atlantic can't tell American accents apart either.
Skybolt.
Like, for instance, there's like 6 Southern accents, and it's like they're not all the same. And I know, I lived in the capital of the South, frickin' Virginia, and they will tell you.
Speaking of accents.
Oh god.
Last time Vermont and I had a chat, I told him I was interested in learning how to do different dialects. So I'm actually going to start looking into possibly getting a dialect coach and learning different accents, because fuck it, I can.
Nice.
We tried to work out your accent. I think we think it's 1960s drug dealer.
Yeah.
You know, the kind
1960s drug dealer in a bad movie.
Oh my gosh.
Hey kid, you wanna buy some weed?
So what's my accent?
I would peg you somewhere in the Great Lakes. I think you're like Southern Illinois.
Also, heavy smoker.
Well, the tonality's another story, but in terms of like, yeah, that'd be my guess.
I'm somewhere in the southeast of America.
Southeast. What?
Yes, but where you live doesn't always determine your accent. Because, for instance, I was mostly raised in California, so most people, have this really odd California accent where they kind of slur their letters together. I don't. I don't tend to slur my accents. I'm actually very articulate. And I've had people ask me if I'm from the Midwest, because in the Midwest, they tend to articulate their letters just a little bit more. That's typically where you get the transatlantic accents. That are very clean and crisp, and you can understand every single syllable in every single letter.
Yeah, essentially it's all about, proper pronunciation. And it's a similar thing for radio in general, which is you need to be clear and concise what you're saying. And so, like, when I would mimic a lot of my, like, local radio DJs, which is where I've slowly, crafted the DJ Pony voice from as well, different influences. And, it's interesting. Like, California accents, like, are very, like, kind of, you got the surfer stereotype stuff, but it's like they'll blend together, or you got like the Valley Girls.
Dude, how you doing?
Like, whatever, when they're not really hitting those hard consonants or properly enunciating. But in a similar way, New York's the same way, and there's like several New York accents between Queens and Brooklyn and all that, and they kind of grow out too. What they're talking about. So it's interesting, yeah. Yeah, I feel like we're sort of rising above accents in the internet realm in at least a soft sense. And the military is the same way, actually. If at least in the American military, like, you'll have people from all over the place, but because of that, you're bottled together with people from all over the place, all your accents start to flatten out, and it's more, generalized.
If you ever watch, like, British news, they typically try to stick to a single accent. So if they hire on a news anchor who has, say, a Liverpool accent, they will teach them how to speak with I think they call it the King's English accent. I don't remember exactly.
Londoner Standard.
Pretty much, the Londoner Standard. So they all try to speak with a similar accent so that they are easier understood, because with each different accent, they have like their own slang, and not, one place might not understand that other part's slang. So like people from like with Cockney accents, they might not understand people with like Liverpool accents.
Yeah, which is why people usually if broadcasters can get if broadcasters can get South Africans speaking, they really they will do their best to get South Africans, because we have your typical South African has a very neutral accent, which Americans seem to find incredibly appealing, which is actually kind of funny because South Africans don't.
It's like that unique blend, like the Afrikaner, because you've got the Dutch Boer influences, and then you've got the British Reconquista influences, and then obviously all the different tribes and stuff. So it's fascinating. Yeah. It's unique, which is what people like.
Can I just say something? Like,
yeah.
I really like how whenever somebody pops on, they're like, "Hi, EAST Corp Productions," and then they're like, "Hi, Needle Stitch."
Congratulations!
You get your own greeting. You get your own you get your own greeting. So it's like, EAST Corp is now there's now the EAST Corp fan club, the Skybolt fan club, because a huge portion of our fan base just sort of migrated from his channel, and now there's the Needle Stitch fan club. Where's the love for Vermont? I think, God damn it, this is.
We're just gonna start a Ben fan club. Ben, you now have your own fan club. I actually really
like Ben's accent. We should replace you with him.
Wow, I'm really offended.
Good. This is
Oh my
America.
God,
Everybody's
you guys are
offended.
awful.
No, we love you.
You're awful to my brother. He is evil.
Listen to that. That is so adorable. I want to just put him in a production of Great Expectations.
Great Expectations.
Oh
He's
my
like
God.
perfect Pip. Anyway, where were we going with all this? We don't have a point.
With the accent news stuff, of course the best joke about newscasters and accents comes from South Park.
I was just gonna say the same thing.
Adam Sandler is
No, not that one. The with that one, Cartman's advice to Token, saying, "Hey, Token. See, people love seeing black people on the news. They don't like hearing them. That's why all black newscasters have a white person voice."
Oh my God!
You have, and then for the rest of the episode, Token proceeds to speak. I think they actually went and got a completely different voice actor for him specifically to do that. And it's so brutal. Like,
it was so funny though the after because
that
it's
is
so
hard.
true. It's just like Lester Holt from CNN. He's like the stereotype of that, where it's like, oh, hello everyone. Yes, the perfect newscaster voice, the nice slow drawl, so you still hear clear English, but you can also see a black person on television. Thank you very much.
Hello.
I promise you,
I
you're
am
not racist.
speaking normal American right now. Can you understand me? Hello.
That's even better. That sounds
This is our attempts at being inclusive.
attempts.
We are trying to include everybody.
Yeah.
I apologize if my accent offends you.
No, I'm taking
Yes,
the Mel
we
Blanc
even
approach,
have-
is that I just want to try different accents for fun and for characterization. That's why Confessions, every character has a bit of an accent. That's me practicing it in the demos and then forming a character around it.
Oh God, yes. We
They don't
have
always
many
sound
members.
good. And by
We
don't
have
always, I mean
many
never.
members here at EAST Corp from all different walks of life.
His accent sounds better than your German accent, Skybolt.
Okay, I take offense at that now.
That wasn't meant to be German. That wasn't meant to be German. That was meant to be Russian.
That was bad.
Yeah.
Nobody
Well,
knows
because
that
I was actually trying to do your advice where you're meant to swallow it or speak in the background. My normal Russian, fuck, I've lost it entirely now. I'm just gonna switch to Irish. I'm gonna switch to the Irish accent because my Irish accent is actually very strong. It's one of the only ones I can do completely fluidly, and I can switch in and out of it really well.
See, I remember the
once learned-
I had a professor in college, university, who was he looked like a Bond villain. He was this Russian guy with like silver gray hair, and he always wore a black turtleneck, and it was so hilarious. And he had this very perfect stereotypical Russian accent that me and another friend of mine we just had so much fun with behind his back.
Oh dear God!
Yeah, it was great.
Oh God, I went to Russia once, and when I was much younger, I think I was like.
Did you
14.
try to use your Russian accent?
Wait, how
No,
much
no,
younger?
of
Like
course
the
not.
90s? Like when it was all controlled by the mafia?
No, I just said when I was.
Oh,
14.
sorry.
Still controlled by the mafia?
I'm 21
sorry. Okay.
currently.
I'm older than you.
Shut up, Needle. You're
No.
like a few months older than me.
No.
Yeah.
DJ Pony.
When
is
did you
very
turn 22?
February.
Yeah, so you're a few months
That's
older.
a lot of months.
Shut up, Ben. No one asked you.
old.
Ben, we are now directing all of our questions to you and not Vermont.
Friggin', yeah, no, I turned 22 in November.
Nice.
So it's not. Also, you know what the big problem about realizing that I was born in November is?
What?
November's 9 months after February.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, boy.
Like,
Valentine's
okay, so
Day, bitches!
I was a Valentine's present, because also, I know I was an accident.
Nice. Yeah, no, that's how it was for a
Secret
friend of
fact,
mine in high
of the
school, and
three-
I made fun of her all the time for it.
Funnily enough, of the three, and just so that you have more fun, more fuel to, more ammo to make fun of me using Ben. Of the 3 children my parents had, Ben was the only one that was planned.
My parents had 5. I was an accident. My brother was an accident. I believe I was a condom baby, and then Jacob was a shot baby.
Well, obviously you weren't
Samuel
a condom
was
baby because you
planned.
broke through. Congratulations.
What's a shot baby?
A shot. My mom got the depot shot, I believe it's called.
Oh,
it's a form of birth control, and obviously it didn't work on my mom.
Obviously it didn't. Yeah, obviously.
Nice.
And then Samuel was planned. Xander was born out of the Nuba ring.
A what?
It's another form of birth control.
What the heck? Your parents are like destined to be Catholic. It's like they try every form of birth control, but nope, God says no. You're having kids anyway. Or Mormon.
Oh God. Oh God. Sorry. I was just scrolling through Reddit.
Oh God! Don't do that.
I love Reddit, but at the very top of our gaming, someone has posted a copy of Skyrim Monopoly. Yet another version of Skyrim has been released.
No, not another version of Skyrim, another version of Monopoly, because God knows we've got thousands of those.
That's a separate problem.
I think we might actually have... I found that and fucking Bethesda and E3 2018 be like, and it's got a picture of Skyrim on a calculator.
Yeah, Skyrim port to Texas Instruments. It's perfect.
Oh God.
Okay, so do you guys want to hear my creeper story? Because I know, like, before the podcast, we were going to talk about my creeper story.
Yes, we were going to talk about your creeper story. Yeah, you told one of our fans to fuck off.
I did, and I don't typically do that because I actually really like you guys. You guys are pretty cool. Whenever one of you, find me on Discord or Amino, or even I had one guy, like, find me at Everfree, and he was super chill. I don't mind. I love talking to you guys. I love hearing that you guys are fans of the show, and I love hearing that you guys really enjoy my derpy character. What I do mind is when... I'm not going to name names, obviously, because that's just mean. When one of you guys come to me and ask me if they can draw porn of my character with their character.
Oh, my God.
Oh, shit.
That's what I care about. And when it started, like, the person messaged me, and they're just like, oh, hi, Needle Stitch, I love your character, and totally fine. It was a relatively normal conversation. We started, we're just like, oh, hey, how are you? I'm good. I had, they were asking, like, what's new with Wasteland Survival Guide, and, like, I gave very, very vague answers to that, obviously.
Yeah.
And then they're like, hey, this is kind of embarrassing, but I really want to know if I can draw porn of Needle Stitch with my character.
Oh, my gosh.
And I was like...
God damn it.
Fuck no. What do you mean, remember this story? This just happened. Chaotic Babies is like, I remember this story. It's like, what do you mean, remember this story? This just happened, like, less than a week ago.
That's gross either way.
And I'm like, that's creepy. No. And I'm just gonna let you know, I am gonna talk about this next time I'm on the podcast.
Nice.
So fuck you. Leave me alone.
Actually, that doesn't sound creepy at all, but I'm probably used to it since I'm an artist myself, and I'm kind of used to seeing that. That doesn't sound all that creepy.
I don't care
but
if
you're kind of a creepy person.
The thing is, like...
Yeah, so in general, do not necessarily ask for porn of OCs. Just, it's to do the same rule that normal fans do, which is, you make it just different enough where it's not a copyright violation.
No, please, for the love of God, don't even, like, draw a character that mildly looks like my horse. Like, I had a friend of mine, he draws suggestive pictures of my horse all the time. It's never anything super explicit, but it is rather suggestive, and I don't particularly
you mean like Steamy Stitch?
Steamy Stitch is explicit.
Hey, no.
Oh, yeah, see, I've never seen the full
version. Stitch is very explicit.
I have never seen the full version.
I think the qualifier there is your friend. Someone you know very well.
He's my friend, and he asks my permission. He's just like, hey, I have this idea. Would it be okay? And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, sure, okay. That's fine. You know, you ran it by me. You made sure I was okay with it. Go ahead. But if people just do it, I'm just like, why? What? This is
the problem with fan bases sometimes.
So, like, generally, if you, like, ask my permission and you kind of run it by me first and I know what's going to happen, I usually don't care. But if you just do it and it's something super explicit, I'm just like, what the fuck? Why didn't you ask? Now, like, for my birthday, for instance, I had a few people send me fan art, which I absolutely loved. They were super cute little pictures. They were nothing super crazy. One of the guys, part of our group, who is unfortunately no longer a part of our group, drew this really cute anthro picture of Stitch drinking some champagne, and I love it.
I miss him.
And then my friend Beard, his sister, just recently drew a picture of Needle Stitch that is fucking gorgeous. It's just, It's perfect. She's sewing up herself, and I love it. I didn't know I was going to get that, but the way they went about it was very tasteful. Like, it's nothing explicit. But as soon as you start entering the realm of might need to be marked rated R, please ask me.
Oh, God. Yeah, for the record, porn is like, okay, so to be fair, it kind of depends. Like, I know Skybot and I have both said on podcasts that we will only fucking the height of our success will be when people draw R34 of our characters, not our OCs,
no,
characters in our stories. But that does not apply to everyone here, and really, that's mostly just a joke. I'm not really encouraging.
No, I just want fan art in general, and this is part of the Needle Stitch privilege. Is I have so much fan art. People want to draw dirty things too. It's so sad.
It's not Needle Stitch privilege. Like
it's
you better check your Needle Stitch privilege.
It's not, because I have these friends and they really like my character. Like, Needle Stitch is fucking adorable. Like, have you seen her face?
Yes, we see her face all the time.
She's fucking adorable, and a lot of people want to draw her because there aren't very many plush characters out there, even though technically she's not a plush. I just let people think she's a plush.
So she's stuffed?
And she's not. She's a pony, and the dark purple bits of her are actually dead flesh.
All right,
edgy. But a lot of people just associate her with a plushie, which, again, I don't really care because she's a plushie artist, because I'm a plushie artist. But I don't know what people are going to draw when they draw porn.
Well, yeah, that's part of the
problem. That's part of the problem. When they're drawing a picture that is porn related, they might draw what they are into. And while I say do as you do, boo-boo, I don't give a shit, as long as I don't hear about it. As soon as it involves me or my character, I start to care. Like, I had somebody draw a picture. It wasn't Needle Stitch, but it was Derpy. And while I don't own the Derpy character, while the Derpy character is not intellectual property of EAST Corp Productions or Fallout Equestria, they sent me a picture that they had drawn of Derpy, and it was golden shower fetish.
Oh no.
Oh no.
And
that actually sounds funny.
Do you know what golden showers is?
Yeah, I know what it is. It just sounds funny the way you say it.
It's
no.
Unfortunate.
And so I'm just like, why did you send me this? And they're like, oh, because you voiced Derpy. You do this thing. And I'm just like, okay, I'm not into this. Do not send me this. I'm not okay with this.
Did they? Nope. I can't.
That's where block buttons come in handy. Yeah.
So I did block them. I was like, no. I did block them, but I don't know what everybody's into. I don't particularly care what everybody's into. I have one hard limit on what I say is absolutely not okay, no matter what. I don't give a shit, and that's full con.
Mm-hmm.
Not okay. Don't even touch it. As soon as I see it, you are now worse than trash in my eyes.
Oh, God.
Like, you are worse than fucking Hitler. Like, you deserve to die right there.
All right.
Do you know what full con is? Okay.
Yeah.
So, that's the one thing. I'm like, no. Anything else, I'm just kind of like, do what you want to do. I don't care. I just don't want to see it. You know? I have my personal fetishes. You have yours. You're into scat or whatever the fuck. You do you, boo-boo. I don't want to see it. So, that's the reason why, like, I have a problem with people drawing my OC in compromising positions, because I don't know what you're into. It's, if I knew what you were into, like, or if you ask me what I'm into and you draw what I'm into, that's fine. But if you draw what you're into, you don't know how that's going to be perceived by me or by anybody else who might see this picture and might associate me with that picture. Thankfully, since, like I said, Dirt is not an intellectual property of EAST Corp Productions or of Fallen Equestria, it's not... whatever people draw of her is not immediately perceived by... It's not immediately, like, stapled to me. You know, it's not like, oh, that's Needle Stitch. It's like, no. She's Hasbro intellectual property. So people don't associate what other people draw of her with me, which is nice. But when other people draw Needle Stitch, who is my character, who I did create, who I did take the time to make and look pretty, if somebody draws something really wrong, I guess, of her, then it might be, somebody might be like, oh, Needle Stitch is into this and she's okay with this. It's okay, no.
Okay, so TLDR, don't send her porn of her character.
Don't send me porn of my character unless you okay it by me first, and not with your OC. There's only one OC, two OCs. There are two OCs I am okay with being drawn with, and that's Mocha Latte and Jura's Caveat. That's it.
Okay, then.
Alrighty.
So that's my creepy story.
That's a creepy story. I think I told this story last week. I think I did, but there was only like one person. There was only Skybolt there, and I think we had a smaller audience. So I'm going to tell it again because I feel like
Go for it.
There's a bigger audience because I'm here. Ha!
So we have actually secretly everyone's here for Krelak. They love his silence.
His silence.
And the occasional speaking. Yes, Krelak, we're making a little bit of fun of you.
That's fine.
Anyway, there's one friend of mine. I don't remember how we ended up in the conversation, but she was telling me about this time she was with this dude, and shit got really, really awkward.
Oh man!
Because during orgasm, she moaned out her own name.
What?
What?
Yeah.
What?
She called out her own name in bed.
Okay. That's
okay. All right, context. We need context because that's
this is like Trixie tier narcissism here.
Oh god, we will never stop making fun of her for it, and I am planning to add it into every script I write.
Oh my gosh.
Good.
Like, seriously, so the way she kind of described it was that he called out her name, and then she kind of just called out name. She was kind of like, the way her brain was, I need to call out a name as well. but I can't remember your name, so I'll just call out the first name that comes to my mind, which is the name you just said, which was my name.
I mean, at least she didn't call out some other dude's name.
Yeah, that would be terrible.
I don't know. I think calling out your own name might be worse. Like, I'm doing my best not to name her because, you know, obviously she's a friend of mine, but still.
We'll call her Jessica.
You know what? That I don't want to spoil too much, but I think that might make it into Jessica's story.
Okay.
It's a little joke for Needle there. Needle went very silent.
Okay.
Counting 7:48.
Needle, where are you?
4:55, 26, 57, 58. Fuck! I fucked up.
What?
I'm counting. I'm making a sweater, okay? I needed to count. I'm counting my stitches. I'm counting my stitches!
Okay. No, just like, everything just went really, really super silent and awkward for a moment.
No, that's totally fine because, like, I feel like if you did that with Jessica and the other character that you and I were talking about.
Yeah.
I feel like the potential voice actor that we want to have for that will find it fucking hilarious and throw something out totally ad-lib that you might love.
Alright, wonderful.
Because me and that person, even though we had our little moment where we kind of hated each other, we have very good ad-lib potential.
I'm
Huh?
I forgot what I was going to say. Anyway.
Good, I'm glad you forgot.
Why? What did you think I was going to say?
I don't know. Joking. God.
Mm-hmm.
I'm joking!
Mm-hmm.
Ben, punch your brother!
Oh, Ben went to bed. It's like way past his bedtime.
That's good anyway. He probably should be listening to this.
You really... we've already ruined Christmas and the Tooth Fairy for him. We shouldn't be discussing
I
sex.
almost hit Easter Bunny, too, man. Like, dude, when I turned 12, I was the Easter Bunny.
Nice.
Come on, let's hear another story. Skyball, it's your turn. It's your turn.
Skyball,
Turn.
Entertain us. Learn us a thing.
Dance clown. I don't know. I've been just freaking busy lately. What is?
We're putting him on the spot
right now. It's
You ever see the new Muppets movie, like the Muppets where Kermit goes to jail?
I'm not really a Muppets fan, to be honest. I never grew up with the Jim and stuff.
There's this whole thing where like the evil Kermit and Ricky Gervais like start singing a song, and the whole song is "Dance, Monkey Dance."
Nice.
So I just think we're making the monkey dance.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been playing the little free time I've had. I've played some New Vegas too, so that's been fun going through that for like I don't even know what playthrough this is, like 4th or 5th. Fuck yeah, that's mostly what I've been doing.
I might be getting a new computer specifically for gaming.
Nice.
So when I actually do that, like anybody who wants to can like add me on Steam and we can play games together. Steamy Stitch. Maybe I should make a new Steam and call it Steamy Stitch.
Yeah. That's gonna draw more bad fan art though. Just FYI.
I know. I already have 2 games on there, and I don't want to lose those games. But, yeah.
I've more or less given up on PC gaming. I have a Steam or something that I tried to load up with my Anthropology Edition Fallout games so I could, like, play mods, and nope, couldn't get the mods to work, so I don't know. I kind of gave up on that. Went back to console. Nice and simple.
I'm pretty big on PC gaming, but my current laptop, I thought I could clean it up enough in order for it to be able to run basic games, but I couldn't. It's really old. Like, this computer's from, like, 2006, 2007.
I'm surprised it can run that well.
So I'm surprised it's still running. So I'm actually like, I need to get a new laptop in general. I need to move all of the important files, like the Wasteland Survival Guide stuff, to like an external hard drive because this computer's dying. I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to have it, and I'm not sure if I can afford one right now. It's going to be a while until I can afford a new one.
These games are too big to install. It's like, I don't know, the internal hard drives need to be bigger, or the like, extra ones need to be bigger. I don't know. It's, like, I can't imagine what playing certain games must be like these days.
I run Final Fantasy 14 at 3 frames a second.
Nice.
Oh my god.
Like, I tried to play it with my friend Spike. He's just like, here's this game, come play with me. And I was like, okay, sweet. Downloaded the game, got everything to work. All of the cutscenes looked beautiful. They were running just fine. But as soon as I got into gameplay, 3 frames a second.
Yeah. It happens.
And I'm trying to run to, like, finish, like, the opening quests, and Spike is following me. And he goes, yeah, I literally, like, take a step and then wait 5 seconds. And then take a step and then wait 5 seconds. I'm like, yeah, this is really bad. I'm not sure if I can... It's not Windows Vista, it's Windows 10.
No, I would have given up long before that point.
Yeah, so I was just like, I'm done. I just need to get a new computer. So, hey, if anybody has a computer or wants to help me buy one.
Nice.
If you're going to get a computer, it'd probably be a good idea if you, like, built it yourself.
I'm getting a very bare bones desktop that I can later upgrade, because right now I can't afford to drop the $500 that I need on a decent gaming computer. So I'm going to get a bare bones one for probably $200 to $300, and then just upgrade as I can afford it.
Yeah, that's what I did, and I reckon I'm almost done. I think about it a few months ago. I went and upgraded the RAM, and I think in a few weeks I should be able to get a solid enough graphics card.
I had to get new Mixcraft 8 actually, because my old 5 or 6 had. I don't know, it just wasn't working anymore, so that was just burning out. And so I did some trials of 7 and 8, and so finally I had to just buy. So luckily, 4th of July sale. Luckily.
My computer can play like 100 frames a second.
Yeah, mine can't. So I need a new one.
That kind of makes sense. Like if you're working, especially if you're working on shit like animations, then and art, you should have a strong computer.
Yeah.
Like friggin', which is one of the reasons that I managed to convince my parents to help fund my the new upgrades to my computer. Was, hey, I'm taking animation as a major. I kind of need a stronger computer.
That's
yeah. Fucking. Oh shit! So. I wrote a fucking essay today. Mother of fuck, did I write an essay today? Do you all remember that? Do you remember Fall of the Crystal Empire? Skyball probably won't, because he only has one canon in his mind for how that story ends.
I do remember it though.
But the Silly Philly Studios animation, that like 10-minute one with Celestial? Yeah. So. It had like 6 million views, and it came, or something stupid like that. Now, I hated it when it came out, and my hatred for it kind of grew. And so I think this morning I decided I wanted to actually go and sit down and write out all the problems that I had with it. That was this morning. I finished a few hours ago, and let's just go to Tools. Word count 10,404 words.
You should put it all as a comment or series of comments in the video.
No. I'm turning it into a full video.
Oh
essay.
My gosh, that's awesome.
I'm recording it tomorrow, and then I'm editing it, and I'm going to stick it up on another channel that I work on. I managed to even convince the dude to pay me for it. And I mean, to be fair, like, I managed to go into I went so deep into film theory with this one. Into psychology and cinematography, aesthetics and where the problems that this has in its sound. And I mean, there are 4 or 5 pages just on a single transition.
I haven't watched it in a while. You want to give us the TLDR version of your review?
Okay, so essentially in the fucking
break it down.
Essentially, the major problem with the major Fall of the Crystal Empire is Celestia and Luna arrive outside the Crystal Empire, and they're like, and they're kind of like fucking Sombra's inside, and our army has surrounded him, so we have to go in there and take him out.
Whack, yo.
And then they pitch up and they're like fucking boom. We'll use the elements of harmony. They use the elements of harmony on him, and fucking it doesn't work. And which they never explain. They never explain why the elements of harmony don't work on him. They just kind of don't. And then we have long ass fucking fight scene, and then they're all like fucking. Oh, by the way, Nightmare Moon's a thing because this is actually a story about Nightmare Moon. And then Sombra's all like, "Yo, do you fear the night? Everyone should fear the night. No one understands.
How you feel love tonight."
Fucking yeah, exactly. It's like it turns into a freaking like Celestia gets knocked out of the fight almost right away.
Do they bone?
No, they don't.
Okay.
Because that's the other problem. Is it's completely pointless because Sombra's like, "Hey, be evil with me," and Luna's like, "No," and then they're like, "Okay, cool. We'll continue the story." It's like there is. In this 10-minute story, there's 1 minute and 35 seconds of straight dialogue that goes nowhere.
Oh yeah, that was the weirdest part. It should have just been a fight scene.
I went and broke it down piece by piece. I'm just trying to find it now. But there are 10 points. There are like sort of 10 things that they reveal, discuss, or accomplish with that dialogue. And I went and looked at every single piece of dialogue and decided and figured out what achieved a plot point or a character arc or sort of moment. Only 2 of those points actually carried on into the film.
The dialogue meant,
and 8 of them were pointless.
Yeah, it felt very like just filler, not fillery, but sort of like it has to be there. So okay, here's some dialogue. It's like whoever writes the Transformers movies, you know. They're just like, okay,
exactly.
This has to be the funny part.
Filler with the explosion. Add an explosion for filler.
See, one of my many problems with the Transformers movies, which we can relay into if you guys want, is
yeah, it's really
yeah, because I saw the 7th movie. It was
saw last night?
Yes.
I have to see that still. Can you confirm for us? Is it Unicron as the big villain at the end?
Well, if you want me to go into spoilers, I can.
No one cares about Transformers, about the storyline of Transformers. Spoiler.
Wait. Do they have explosions?
Yes, I'm sure they do.
Not as many as the previous ones.
I've heard that too. It's
you know that I'm not gonna watch it because I need my explosions, man. Like, I have a certain level of expectation with explosions when it comes to Michael Bay movies, and if it doesn't meet a certain quota, it's a shitty movie.
The first one is just like Man of Steel, where it was okay, and then everything spun crazy out of control from there. But it's like, even the first Transformers movie, the problem I always had with it was it looks like garbage flying around. You can't tell the Transformers apart. In their need to break them down into this, like, cellular level, all these tiny moving parts, which, as a mechanical engineer, that many moving parts, if they weren't magically alive, would never work. Holy cow.
And
so... Based on your current understanding of machinery.
Yeah, and so they should have been more like the originals, where, you know, you've got just a normal robot, you know? It's not like just this, like, sort of living mass of moving parts. I mean, they almost look like the Abominators or whatever from the Star Wars Legends EU. And,
also, because it's, like, total sensory overload from so much fucking shit moving around on
Exactly.
screen.
So if you don't have a big screen that isn't on Blu-ray, you can't even tell who's who when they clash together. It's just flying garbage anywhere, and that takes out a lot of the excitement for me, because it's like, if you just zoom back and then plant the camera in the fucking ground, we could actually enjoy the robot fight. But you're, like, zooming in, so it's like the camera is, like, you know, hard, like, welded onto one of their arms, so you can't see anything because it's always moving all over the place. Because also, that's lazy filmmaking. The shaky cam crap is just to hide either poorly developed choreography or poor, just fight in general. It's like a good fight shouldn't have to do that. It's just a scam. It's a gimmick. So TLDR,
So
everything about Transformers sucks.
Exactly. That's why. How do all of those small parts fit into a tiny car? If you think about it, the Transformers size correlates to the size of whatever thing they turn into. So, for instance, Optimus Prime is big; he turns into a semi-truck. Okay, like the little tiny cars that are like little smart cars, they are tiny little Transformers. To jet planes, they are big Transformers. Yeah. So technically, their size makes sense for what they turn into. I'm not saying that all of the small parts would fit. I'm just saying the size of the actual Transformer makes sense for what they turn into.
Yeah, it's like they are trying in that sense. So like in the second movie, Ultra Magnus was the SR-71 Blackbird jet, and then he becomes like the super armor, which is sort of canon with the old movies, but what's funny is the old movies were kind of the opposite direction, where, some of the metal would, bend and warp in a cartoony way that didn't make sense. And then also, they would dramatically change size for no discernible reason. Like, Megatron would turn into a little pistol and, magically shrink 40 times, smaller than he was before. So it's like, if only we could have something in the middle. But no, we need to... See, the thing is, Michael Bay, he found like some perfect formula of nostalgia and foreign appeal, especially in China, and just like he nailed that common denominator on the money. So they just print money with these movies.
Fucking, it's funny, just the shitty fight scenes and our inability to see what's going on is kind of the reason why the internet went and lost its collective shit when the first John Wick was released. Like, oh my god, we can actually see the fighting. Oh my god.
Yeah, and that's part of what the John Wick movies do so well, is they're like some of the more modern, just good action movies, like the John Wicks, Equalizer, a lot of those kind of things. It's just, they're good modern action movies. It's like, it shouldn't be that hard. It doesn't have to be, cliche like the Expendables movies either, which the first two were okay, but then the third one, they fell into the trap, the let's make it PG-13 for mass appeal trap, and it took all of the bone out of the movie. So it's just a flobby freaking mess.
I never even bothered watching the third one. No. Second one was easily the best since it jumped way more into what we wanted to see, the references and our favorite action heroes fighting each other or joining up with each other, as opposed to it just being kind of like one or two of them, which like the first one was. Yeah,
I still enjoyed the first one because it kind of reminded me of Archer Vice, where they just go and fuck up an island. But go ahead, Krell. Like, what were you going to say?
Kind of,
I was going to ask if you've seen the 6 Transformers movie where the
oh my god, they're at 6 already?
Yeah, no, there's a 6 Transformers movie where humans made Transformers, but like they would divide themselves into like these different molecular parts. I had to show a video.
What? I only remember the 80s movie before the Michael Bay series, which the 80s movie is good. For, it's better... It's better than the Michael Bay ones, anyway. At least it's more fun and 80s-tastic. It's got freaking Weird Al. It's got a kick-ass theme song. Oh, man, I love that old movie. Orson Welles as Unicron.
Oh, was that the one with Weird Al? I knew he'd guest starred in it at some point, but I could not for the life of me remember.
Yeah, he plays the robot Blur, I think, or something. And then his song, Better Be Stupid, is in it. I think that's the one.
Oh, because of course
Dare to be stupid.
Yeah, Weird Al in the 80s was, I still think, one of my favorite eras for Weird Al. Especially UHF. If you've never seen his movie, UHF, you gotta check it out. It is so funny. I love it. As a Weird Al fan, it's awesome.
Oh, God.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go swap over my laundry.
Damn.
You know, I just realized we've never actually. Did we ever get any questions in the chat this time?
I don't know. Chat, do you have any questions for us today? We seem to have gone down a little bit, despite Needle's appeal, or self-proclaimed appeal. But
yeah. I'm telling you, they're here for crap.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Fuck you! It's not self-proclaimed. I heard that.
It kind of was self-proclaimed, though.
Just because I walk away doesn't mean I can't still fucking hear you.
It was literally proclaimed by yourself. I'm just being literal here.
Like,
shut up.
That is the definition of self-proclaimed.
But it is funny.
No, it's great. We love all our fans and coworkers. Yeah, I'm glad we have 4. You know, we're trying to get. I'd love to have another British Invasion podcast that syncs better, because that was the first live stream we've really tried, and so it's like the pacing was all over the place, and it's like I just want to get Kelly and Oakhart to argue in their different British accents, because that's like half the reason I want to get them in a room together.
Wait, when was the British Invasion podcast? Was I in that?
I don't. Yeah, you were. It was episode 10. I was listening to part of it, but the syncing is kind of fucked up, so.
Oh, that one. I think that was one of the ones where I left like halfway
Yeah,
through.
I think so. It was pretty fun, though. We had a good time.
It was that one and that one and Bloods and Bones and Oakhart.
That was great. Yeah, the whole second half is just her telling her stories about, and so the one time, then I was bleeding out of my toes, and it's like, then I made the bloody hell joke. It's like, do you just say that because you guys are always getting, like, blood wounds? Hey, speaking of blood, should we talk about Bloodborne and stuff? Because I just watched a bunch of Bloodborne videos.
What? Like, you're gonna have to I don't know. I never played it. Kradak?
Seen what?
Wow, you're paying all the attention.
I've actually
tonight.
never played it either, because I suck at games like that. But I do love the way they captured that Lovecraftian lore. I was actually watching when it very first came out, the Bloodborne, and then all the videos by that Vonti Vidya guy. That helped inspire me a little bit for Duchess Horrors. So obviously, this is a very timely topic, but anyway, I just rewatched all those, and that's a fascinating story. It's like Dark Souls, but it actually has a story. That's what I like about it. So, no, what else is going on? So we got the movie counting down. There's the series. Damn it, I still haven't watched any of Season 7. I've been watching the DWK videos. Those are great wrap-ups, but I haven't actually watched the episodes. No, I know, like the perfect pair. So Applejack's parents, we finally know them, and like I thought, one of their parents would be a non-Apple, because it can't be that incestuous. You got to refresh the gene pool sometimes. So we have adorable pear sauce? Pear something?
Yeah, I got remember. But I was really, really surprised because I was listening to that, and I thought, wow, their grandfather has a really, really good voice actor. I love his voice. Going to the credits, it's William Shatner.
Right?
We make so much fun of his acting, but that was a really, really good performance.
No, I love Shatner's voice. He's awesome.
I didn't expect. I knew we were going to have a Shatner cameo at some point this season. I wasn't expecting it to be now, and I also wasn't expecting their mother to be played by Felicia Day.
I wish in a different time we could have had a Shatner and Leonard Nimoy, like both of them in a scene together. That would have been perfect. But no, my mom grew up with the original Star Trek. She was a huge OG Star Trek fan, so I was. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, that's
Skywalk. I'm willing to ask you, from a mechanical standpoint, do you see the Jaegers being a possibility?
Oh, from Pacific Rim?
Yes.
See, that was one of my many problems with the Pacific Rim movie, is they were neat. The whole setup is neat, but it almost sort of had the new Batman vs Superman problem, is they're trying to make it too grounded in reality for the kind of material they're going for. So it's like, the whole idea of the dual minds controlling it, I think that's kind of bullshit. That was just a contrivance to make plot things connect people together. But in general, it just needed better character development and stuff. But a single brain taking load from a processor and making it more, that kind of makes sense. That's interesting. But at the same time is making these giant robots to fight the things is also highly, like, I don't know, it seems highly inefficient in terms of technology. It's like, well, they show, like, 2/3 through the movie, that sword that just works against the things. You're like, why didn't they use that sword from the beginning? So then it would come down to, why don't they just turn the sword into, like, smaller versions and some kind of missile? So it's like, you shoot that whatever thing into them, and then the center of it is like a nuke or something. I don't know. So it's, that's why I couldn't get into Pacific Rim. There were too many... My brain wouldn't accept all of the suspended disbeliefs, and so, I don't know. It didn't really do anything for me that it did for other people. So, I hope that answers your question, but yeah. And also, then the coastal wall thing was neat, but at the same time, more realistically, again, they should have had this massive stationary naval fleet around the frickin' the rip in the Pacific Ocean, because it's like, there's plenty of launching locations where you can, build up a navy, instead of wasting all this money on hundreds of, or not hundreds, but like thousands of miles of metallic wall, which they seem to get through anyway. It's like, just put all your effort into building very powerful ships and things, and have this, like, massive blockade around the whole. Then the second you see something come out, you just assault it nonstop until it goes away. And I don't know. So it's like, I know why the movie was made, and it was made for the cool robot and alien monster fights, but at the same time, I felt like those were kind of weak too. Same thing with Transformers. It's like, I was surprisingly underwhelmed by the action. So, I don't know. That's just me. If people enjoy it, they enjoy it, but that's, those are my nitpicks.
just a few nitpicks. Just one or two. Yeah.
I'm very particular whether or not I can let go of, things like that. The movie has to win me over first.
Apparently, Needle was screaming in the background.
Yeah, she's in the restroom and still listening.
No.
Why were you screaming?
So I bent over to swap my laundry over. And I pinched a nerve in my back, and now I am, like, literally on the ground, and I'm in so much pain right now.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, shit. This stopped being funny.
Do you have someone to call?
No.
A friend or something?
Don't you have a roommate?
You just went to work?
Well, for back I've thrown out my back before, and it's definitely best just not to move, and don't worry about anything for right now.
I crawled to my bed, and I'm just laying on my bed now, and I'm not gonna move. I am in so much pain right now.
Should we end the podcast and discuss this all in private?
Maybe. Yeah. Do you? Yeah,
I just need a minute. I'll be okay. I just need a minute.
Yeah, I threw out my back last week when I was doing boxes, but so I definitely understand. It's good.
I was like totally fine until I bent over, and then it was the worst pain, and I screamed, and I'm sorry that I screamed, and I laid down on the ground, and I'm like, I'm not gonna move for a minute. And then I tried using the washing machine to get back up, and I couldn't, so I just kind of crawled back to my bed.
Yeah. Well, if you need to go and get some meds or call someone, that's fine,
I don't think I can even, get to my bathroom to get the meds. I think it's just best for me to lay down. Right now, I don't have anybody to call to, come and get me. So I'm just gonna lay down and... I might have some Tylenol around my bed. I'll have to look for it.
Yeah.
I'm okay. That was really random, and I wasn't expecting it, and it hurt.
Yeah. It's good, definitely when luckily for migraines, I have some tramadol and stuff, and it's good for emergencies like that. You never know when you can sort of cross-use medicine if you have a prescription for something.
Subscription, you're a dork.
A subscription for all the drugs. Well, now we're dealing with that in America, which I actually really don't like. Is all this new like opioid panic, which I feel like is it's just going to get into really tight controls, and I don't know. I lean more libertarian when it comes to stuff like that. It's like I'd rather just not have all these tight controls of drugs like marijuana or whatever, and that way if people are in pain, it's like, yeah, addiction is bad. We need ways to help people who do get addicted, but you can't stop people who need pain medicine also. Like, so I've seen the opposite, where it's people who are, they suffer through their every waking lives because, they're on this trickle of whatever it is, Vicodin or whatever. And I'm like, I'd rather, with some people, it's better to risk an addiction than to just let them suffer eternally. I don't know. I don't care for that. It's like if someone, there's got to be a better way to do that, is all I'm saying. So.
Would Excedrin help? Like, I know Excedrin's for headaches, but would Excedrin help for back pain?
A little bit, yes, because the acetaminophen is an anti-inflammatory. So besides the vessels in your brain, it would help your back a little bit too. If, whatever's by you. And then just relax and then give it time and let it loosen. I know, that's why I always keep those, whatchamacallit, like the, like vapor rub kind of stuff, like eucalyptus cream or like a head-on or something like that, and like icy hot.
Head-on to apply directly to the forehead.
It's great to loosen up muscles, those topical ointments. You got to be careful though. I'll tell a funny story to loosen the situation.
Okay, just don't make me laugh too hard.
No. You might laugh actually because of this. So I was what was it? It was after I sprained my ankle, which was like probably the worst thing that happened in high school. I might have told part of the story. It was right before I was going to do this big production of Seussical. And so I was putting some icy hot on to help loosen it up because I was, trying to heal as fast as I could so I could be better enough to do the musical and not have to sit out or something weird like that because I was one of the stars. I was Horton the Elephant. And so I'm putting some icy hot on, and then I thought I had washed it or wiped it off well enough, but I didn't. And so then I went and used the restroom, and I had to pee. And so then my penis was icy hot for a solid hour. It would not wash off. I could not find the right cream to neutralize it. So it was a very, very horrible waves of pain and the very different sensations that it's usually not subjected to. So you can enjoy that image.
When I was younger, I think I was like 6 or 7. I broke my shoulder blade, but I broke my shoulder blade, and I was taken to the hospital, and they patched that up. I kind of don't remember what happened because it was like a while ago.
Yeah. No, that's a bad break. A shoulder blade is like, it's such a big bone, and it's like you can't. Every time you breathe, every time you twist or move, it's the same thing as backs. It's like everything's connected through it. So.
Yep, I just coughed and it hurt.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's
I don't even know what happened. Like legit, I just bent over to grab my laundry. I threw all my laundry in the dryer, and then I kind of have to do this little tiny bend to get to my my dryer dials because it's underneath the water heater. Yeah. So there's like a 5-inch gap between the water heater and my dryer. So I bent over a little bit, and I usually bend with my knees because I have a bad back in general. So I bent with my knees. I did the dial thing, and as soon as I stood up, instant pain. I was down on the ground, and I've never had my back hurt this bad. Yeah. I've had little annoying back twinges, but this is really bad. I can feel my toes. I can wiggle my toes, so I know I'm not paralyzed. But Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and
So
that's usually. I
the
mean,
moral of the story is that laundry kills.
no, it is an expression, but it
laundry.
really is like the straw that broke the camel's back. That's how a lot of the like throwing out your back is. It's just some final little thing where it clicks and then unclicks and then you're screwed.
The laundry that broke the needle's
Oh my
back.
gosh. Yeah.
Oh, we should. Sky, can you rename the topic of the topic of the podcast from Milky Wasteland to, I don't know, Laundry Kills Needle?
I have like several different names I want to name this podcast now.
I'm actually I'm really sorry that this ended up on the podcast. I really am.
Yeah, we're sorry you got hurt. It's I've been through something similar. I can empathize.
I can't empathize with icy hot on my dick. I'm sorry.
See, doesn't that feel better?
Wait, Skyball, the icy hot was on your dick? Why?
Yes, he said that.
Yeah, it was.
It was super awkward for everyone who had to listen to it.
Yeah, I kind of missed out on that. I was zoned out.
Okay. Yeah, so that was a fun evening.
So I have to go get water. The water is on the other side of my bedroom.
Try to grab some kind of pills on the way too.
I have the pills. The pills are sitting on my laptop. I just need to grab the water. So I'm mentally preparing myself. Give me words of encouragement, guys. I am mentally preparing myself to sit up.
Play,
whatever
his name is.
You can do it. Yay, sit up.
Just believe in yourself. Believe in the us that believes in you.
Trust in the heart of the cards. How many more TV show platitudes can we find? The power is yours!
You're a wizard, Harry.
You're a hairy wizard.
Believe in that. Believe in that thing about the American spirit and the American dream and the whole "yes we can" thing. I don't know.
Nothing is true. Everything is permissible.
I'm halfway up. I'm propping myself on my arms right now. Okay. Almost got it.
She's slowly getting further and further away from her.
Can you not turn this into a snuff podcast? That would be great.
The snuff podcast? What?
Somebody play the Eye of the Tiger. It's me.
I can sing Eye of the Tiger.
What's a snuff podcast?
Like a snuff film where someone dies on the thing. Because it's snuffing out your life.
Hang on 1 second.
Yeah, Skyball, you do not want to lose your dick.
No, it wasn't lost. It was you see, I'm well protected.
See, him losing his dick would involve him having one.
Hey, I have a fine dick. Thank you very much. Fine and cut. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I was gonna say a better snuff film would be League of Extraordinary Gentlemen because it killed what's his name's career?
John Connery?
Yes, John Connery. Oh my god.
Goddamn it, Vermont.
James, it is coming through in like
I know,
in like all these gaps. You need to stop.
No, I don't want to stop.
Come on, you're not helping.
You should just let me sing.
We have to at least get to the chorus, guys.
I haven't heard this song in a while.
Reminder that Rocky didn't deserve the Oscar that year. Star Wars did. I'm sorry, Rocky was okay, but Rambo is a much more staying power just in frickin' Sylvester Stallone movies, and Star Wars has a much greater staying power in general. So, no, Rocky did not deserve that Oscar. Can go fuck off.
Hey, I'm at the edge of my bed. I made it to the edge of my bed.
Die.
Yeah, and because we played Eye of the Tiger.
I know.
Like, that's the only reason that you made it.
Yeah.
Like, had I not played Eye of the Tiger heroically and bravely, you know, you'd be flopping on the floor
now
like
we'll
fish.
play Fanfare for the Common Man on kazoos.
Please do. You do a very bad kazoo with your
I
mouth.
don't have it on me right now. Although I did spend almost all of the Everfree 2014 with the playing the kazoos in the hallways, including many of my songs. So that was fun.
Oh god, you must have pissed off so many people.
What the fuck?
Who's playing that?
We could do a remake of the song where it's Boulevard of Broken Backs.
Jesus Christ.
I'm trying not to be mean, but this also gives me a Wasteland Survival Guide idea.
I'm off the bed.
Like, what if we had a chapter where it's Derpy talking about, like, healing broken bones, and then she as a ghoul, you know, it goes faster for her, so she's like, yeah, then this one time I broke my back, and I was like, that was really tricky, because I was a ghoul, so it would work again soon, but it still takes time, you guys.
No. She broke her back, but even though she's a ghoul, it heals quickly. But she didn't get to the right position in time, so she ended up being like one half is straight, the other half is like.
Yes, I like that.
Oh
so
God!
She had to break her back.
I like that.
She said she had to go to a friend so she could be like, "Hey, I need you to do me a real big favor. See how my back's crooked? Yeah, I need you to break my back again so I
back.
can." Oh God. But
I just thought of something.
I need you to break my back so I can get it right in the right place. No, I'm not going to break your back. Please, I need you to snap my spine, bane me. Bane on me.
Then she screams, and her friend's like, "Oh my God, I killed her!" And yeah, so many good chapters.
Don't worry, like a year from now, this will be really, really funny.
Okay, that's a good new name for the podcast.
Now, at this moment, it's not funny. Oh.
Yeah, it's kind of guilty funny right now. Like, I'm laughing, but I'm also feeling really bad about it.
I have the water. I threw it under my bed. Now I just need to get back on my bed.
Come on. You can do it. Do you want me to
I kind of picture you crawling around like one of those, oh, what movie was that? The, with the Japanese horror movie. Grudge! Like one of the Grudge creatures.
Right now. I'm army crawling because, like, if I tried to get up on my hands and knees and crawl like that, I would actually hurt myself more. So I'm army crawling, and I'm slowly slinking onto my bed.
Yeah, in the chat, Chaotic Baby makes a point that, yeah, ghouls don't necessarily feel pain, so maybe it'll be like a psychological thing, like Derpy remembers a similar injury as a child, so she's screaming not out of actual pain, but psychological, like, remembering what that felt like. So that's
actually a really interesting concept. There's a lot to discuss and unpack with that alone from a philosophical point.
It's
I just thought
like just the memory of pain and how much that could produce. It's very interesting.
That's essentially Dose from Terminal Secrets.
Oh fuck yeah! Actually, that's the entire plot of.
Terminal Secrets. So I thought we could borrow that a little bit.
Well, Terminal Secrets episode 1. I love how you. I see you've changed the title of the episode to "And We'll Break Her Back."
That could be a continuation from last week. It's like, oh, we might as well drown her too, and we'll break her back also.
And we'll break her back. I guess we're also going to be breaking her. God. If we're not torturing the character, we're torturing the voice actress who plays the character.
It's method acting.
Yep, you are. You're torturing the voice actress, and she's not happy.
Well, that's what you get for doing your laundry in the middle of a podcast.
You know what? I needed to. I didn't have a two-day weekend this week. I only had a one-day weekend because at my work, if at the last day of the month, we are required to work. Everybody is like all hands on deck on the last day of the month. And so if you work if you don't work the last day of the month like normally, like for me it's a Friday, so I don't usually work Fridays. And ouch. So I had to switch my day off in order to accommodate the extra day, so that way I wasn't working overtime.
Mm-hmm.
And so my last day off was on Monday. Yeah, it was on Monday. And so I did all of my adulting stuff, like paying rent and stuff on Monday, and today is my home stuff where I do laundry. I was going to clean the kitchen, but I guess not. Nope.
Yeah, that's not happening.
That's not happening. I'll probably call a friend of mine to come and help me with the the laundry or the dishes and everything.
Oh, that's going to be a very awkward phone call to make. Hey, can you come do my dishes and my laundry? I kind of broke my back.
Like, real talk, I should probably take it super easy, because if I don't and I can't get to work tomorrow, I'm going to have issues.
Yeah. Also, you're going to, whatever friend it is, you're going to owe him or her so much pizza or beer.
I don't do. I'm already voicing a character in her story, so she owes me.
Oh, okay. So you're very specifically choosing a friend whom you owe a favor.
Those are the best friends that you have.
Okay, so good news, I am sitting straight up. Bad news, I am supporting myself with my arms.
Okay, that's every cloud has a silver lining.
I know. I'm sitting up.
You're gonna end up like Joe, where your arms are gonna get all buff, and then
Well, then I can. That'll make for some weird fan art.
That would actually be some interesting fan art. Well, it's like a Nightmare Before Christmas when Sally is torn in half and she has to sew herself back together.
Yeah.
Although we must stress once again, when you proceed to make fan art of Needle Stitch with really, really buff arms, do not make porn. We have discussed this already.
Ouch.
This is a weird podcast.
It's a weird podcast. I'm dying.
This is
making
very weird
porn of
podcast.
her with buff arms.
Please don't.
Please don't, Kralak. You have so much.
I know.
You have so much EAST Corp related work to do outside of that.
You have EAST Corp related work. Don't even try to take on a new project, Carl.
Don't worry, I don't draw porn. That's not my thing.
It makes a lot of money. I know my friends who don't like drawing porn do in order to make money because, hey, pandering.
That's unfortunately true. It's the hand of the free market. It's
Well, if I am going to draw.
Chaotic Babies posted the Breakroom podcast.
That's true. This is a very literal Breakroom podcast.
Yeah.
If only we could redraw the fan art or the podcast art on the fly and have you like sprawled on the table and.
Okay, so there we go. That's
I can't find my face.
That's a challenge for any artists in the chat. Redraw us a picture with Needle Stitch with her back broken on the table.
Photoshop it on top. It's like the ending of season 3 where Pinky's bucking the tree and her leg goes the opposite direction. I feel pain every time I see that scene.
God!
In the not True. Is it True Friend? No, it's the What My Cutie Mark is telling me. Yeah, that's a great scene.
Yeah. So basically, Needle was just slamming her back against a tree?
That's not a smart idea.
No, hey, you're the one who did it, not me.
That is a good lesson, though. Don't do work. It's like, just have fun and don't do work. It's a lesson for life.
I don't even do work. I just sit at a desk all day.
I mean laundry, you know.
Yes.
It's like, I remember my last apartment, we had a laundry, you had to go down to the laundry room, like in the middle of the complex, and I hated that. I always like having my own laundry machine, like I do now again in my house, but it's like, I hated that so much to go down. It's like, I got a big hamper, and then if my clothes got dirty, I would... On more than one occasion, I ended up just buying extra clothes so I wouldn't have to do laundry on the way home. So, yeah, that's a good time.
Sometimes I just wear the same clothes.
Yeah.
Because if I don't do anything that would like make me be really dirty, I just wear the same clothes the next day.
Exactly. I don't think of it in terms of like, have you worn this clothes more than 1 or 2 days? It's what level of filth do you think has gone into the clothing? So it's like, if I just like wore a shirt around the house, it's, a couple of days, that's fine. Versus wearing a shirt and going outside and sweating a lot and all that. That's a whole different thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I just thought of something on the topic of ghouls. Yep. Say like you're in the wasteland and you find out that Little Pip is going to activate the SPP. Well, if she does that, you may possibly lose your ghoul friends and possible ghoul family. So, like, if you were a character, would you actively try to stop her to save your friends?
I wonder does it pull all the radiation out of the ghouls also? It's like, so then you get into like a cell thing where it's like magically it like soaks all the energy out of their bodies and they're like even more husks than they were before. That could be an interesting little horror short we could draw. Like someone's too close to the tower, so it's a little bit too good at removing every bit of radiation from them and they like die. That could be fun.
Yeah, we can add it to those shorts that we were planning
Anything
on doing.
that makes Pip a bigger mass murderer than she already is a great idea.
Oh my God. It's kind of hard for her to be bigger mass murderer than she already is. Cause
she probably killed half the Enclave with, fucking up their farms and stuff.
Exactly. All because she wanted the ground ponies to, have a little bit of sunlight. Like, look like, hey, we want to see a pretty sky. Okay, cool. Let's just wreck an entire culture.
They should have done a grid system. It's like below, if you have no arable farmland, then you put clouds above that, and then they could do their cloud farmland and stuff. Like that, a slight bit of planning and discussion and, diplomacy could have solved a lot of problems.
Yeah, because Little Pip did a lot of, I don't know what you call it, war crime stuff. Yeah, that you probably classify it as war crime.
Yes.
I think you could class. I mean, she didn't necessarily. Is it? Yes. Yeah.
So then they have like a Nuremberg trials, and they're like, okay, so are we gonna just shoot her in the thing because she's like monster?
Yeah, but then her reaction is sort of kind of like, well, I kind of control the weather now, so I can zap you with lightning or some shit.
Awesome.
Yeah, essentially.
She lightly zaps somebody just to be like, these are my powers now, bitches. Try something.
Like that very first
just a light little.
Well, I mean, you could kind of. I saw this. I can't remember who suggested, but I saw this suggestion that because everything that everything that Little Pip has done, that the whole story is relayed to everyone in the Wasteland through the translated version of the book, because it's kind of she sent it to that one dude, and then he's got to translate it into English and then into book format. So there's that one theory about the fact that the book that you read as the audience isn't actually what happened, that it's the propaganda version.
Oh yeah, so the unhelpful narrator. I like that.
Yeah, so it's like she was actually probably a way worse, less helpful mass murderer, but you kind of have this place that's in desperate need of a martyr and a hero, so they rewrite the book to match that narrative, which I thought was a pretty decent fan theory. Like, because I mean, the stuff she does in the book is a bit like she does sort of sometimes border on that Mary Sue sort of territory. Oh, yeah. And like there are some, and like things like adding like her massacring the cannibals village. It's like they kept that. I feel like they keep that in because that was publicized all over the Wasteland. Everyone knew it. They couldn't take that out, so they can. But like everything else is like, hey, this is lesbian horse Jesus. We love her except for that one time she committed mass genocide. Yay, celebrate her. Everyone pray. Like, yeah, it was an interesting fan theory. And there was someone suggested something else of finding a way to retool the entirety of Fallout Equestria, except it's all a high school drama. Like if you take it and just take all the scenarios and convert them to how it would play out in a high school.
I like that. So it's like Fallout Equestria, but Hetalia.
Oh god, yeah, actually, kind of.
That could be
fun. They were sent to the infinite detention.
What I've been thinking about is how many families did Little Pip kill? Like not in just that one settlement alone with the cannibals, but like actuality, like how many of those slavers and raiders that she killed had like families and stuff that they were trying to support?
I remember someone did
by doing those jobs.
Yeah, because like if you look at the original 2 Fallouts, which is one of the things that I don't like about Bethesda's and even the like less so in New Vegas, because you kind of see it with the Great Card and stuff, but especially Bethesda's interpretation is that in the original two Fallout games, raiders were just normal people. They were brutal as hell, but they were just people trying to survive. And their first reaction wasn't always just to shoot you. Whereas in Bethesda's version, that's what they do. They are just there to kill. Whereas in the original version, it's like, no, they had families. They were trying to support. They were trying to support people. There was a moral dilemma there about killing them, and there was always an option to try and talk your way out of something. Which they had a little, like they had a little bit in New Vegas, but it does sort of. It's unfortunate that KCAT chose to go more with the Bethesda interpretation than the original Black Isle / Obsidian interpretation.
The other thing too is that, like, if you were really stuck in a post-apocalyptic sort of wasteland, like, you would be very likely to want to join a tribe or a gang or a clan, something that, you know, it's numbers. It's, you got protection, you've got an in-group, you know, that's most likely similar to you. So it's like, that's just naturally going to happen, you know.
Yeah, instead of being a crusader.
What? What? All right, cool. Kralak's gone silent.
I missed that too.
My mic was muted. I said about a little bit being a crusader.
What about her being a crusader?
No, what she was doing around the wasteland, she was being a crusader instead of doing what Skybolt suggested, like joining tribes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, she's a little holier than thou type. It's like, whatever, man. This is just fine. Yeah. You got Steel Who's killed. I don't freaking care about this.
Well, I think it also kind of applies to the slavers, because if you, especially with the whole, their families and children and shit, because if you look at when she goes to the slavers' city, I can't remember what it was called, Philadelphia?
Philadelphia?
Yeah, Philadelphia. So she goes to Philadelphia, and she finds the schools that Red Eye has set up, where he's educating a bunch of children. And those children don't exactly come from nowhere. Chances are the slavers all had kids that Red Eye was educating. So I mean, she really was. There's a lot darker shit to what she was doing. I'm not saying that slavery was good in any sort of sense, but
all right. Good news, everyone.
Are you alive?
Well, yeah, I'm still alive. The friend whose wedding I'm doing is coming over to help me.
All right,
so
good.
She owes me.
Congratulations, Needle. You will survive the day, probably.
I was like, Kenzie, come help. I'm dying. I really need help. And she's like, what happened? And I was like, I pinched a nerve in my back and I need to go pay rent.
Oh, you have to go in person? Oh, fuck that landlord.
I have to go to the bank. In order to deposit the money that my roommate gave me for his half of the rent. And because he just gave me that today. And I was just going to ride my bike. I was like, no problem. I'll go after the podcast. And so I had that all planned, and I was going to do laundry and everything. And then I got to go actually sign the check. But pinching my nerve, I'm like, yeah, there's no fucking way I'm going to be able to ride a bike.
Oh, gosh. I was going to say, if it was like one of those apartments where it's like you have to pay in person, they don't have a digital system somehow, it's like, come on.
Oh, I do have to pay in person. I do have to write a check
in person. That is so ghetto. I hate that. It's like, I mean, you can pay, like, people with, squares these days and PayPal. It's like, these people are just, like, purposefully staying in the past. I hate that.
Okay, question. I know you guys aren't registered doctors and everything, but is it okay to mix ibuprofen and acetaminophen?
It should be. I've taken, not specifically,
I've never heard anything against it, so I don't see why not.
Yeah, here, we could Google it real quick.
Yeah. Google it. Ouch.
How do roommates actually work? Like, how do you get someone to be your roommate?
Well, this particular roommate... no, not Craigslist. This particular roommate I've actually known for a while. We met through a convention that I work for. Ouch. Okay, we're good.
A website I'm seeing says it should be okay. So,
Is it WebMD? I don't trust WebMD.
No. What is this? Arthritis Foundation? What the hell? NSAIDs
The
and
Arthritis
acetaminophen
Foundation.
alone or in combo can lead to some side effects.
Needle does not have arthritis.
Well, in my knee I do.
Oh,
God
it
damn
could
it, Needle.
potentially increase the risk of gastrointestinal bleeding. So it's just like aspirin. It's don't take too much or it'll eat you through your stomach lining. Or have it with food.
Makes
Yeah.
sense. But what was I saying? So this roommate I met through a convention that I work for.
Fun.
And when my old roommate was getting ready to move out, I put out a call on Facebook, and I'm just like, hey, I'd rather ask my friends before I start asking Craigslist, like, does anybody have a place to crash? Because I have a place, I'm going to have a room opening up, this is going to be the rent, this is going to be everything. And he goes, oh, I'll do it. And I was like, okay, sweet. So he moved in, and he's super chill. I actually really like him. The one thing I don't like is that he's not the best at adulting. Like, he's really good at paying his bills. He's really good at paying rent. As soon as I know how much everything's going to cost, I just add up his costs, and I'm just like, hey, so this month everything costs this much, and he gives me cash for it. It's whatever.
Nice.
But he didn't know how to do dishes, and he didn't know how to do laundry until I told him how to do it. When he first did the dishes, he tried putting liquid Ajax in my dishwasher.
Nice.
And I screeched like a goddamn pterodactyl as soon as I saw him doing it. I was like, no!
I never heard of Ajax. What is
It's a
that?
brand name.
It's a brand
For
name.
dish soap.
It's Francis.
Yeah, exactly. It's Francis. It's
Francis,
Francis'
yeah.
dish soap.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh god.
but
Crap, I forgot
I
what I
was
was
like,
going
you
to say.
don't do that! And he's like, why? Isn't it the same thing? And I was like, no! Do you want bubbles? Because that's how you get bubbles!
There you go. No, that's why I always get the
So-
powdered Cascade. That's the best, in my opinion.
I prefer the little like capsules that you just toss in and you're
Yeah,
done.
I don't know. I still think that's a gimmick.
Uh,
I like to control the
but-
amount of powder. Like, sometimes if I'm like, this is a powder and a half kind of dish load. Like, after I have, like,
Yeah.
spaghetti or something with, like, tomato sauce, where you're like, that's not gonna wash out easy.
But he cleaned it out, and I didn't have bubbles, thankfully. And then with the laundry, he didn't know how to do it, so I showed him how to do it. And I just found out today, while I was loading my laundry, that he obviously doesn't know that you're supposed to clean out the lint trap.
Oh, no.
Because I do my laundry once a week, usually on a Friday or a Saturday, on my day off, and I always clean out the lint trap because that's a fire hazard. I went and I opened up the dryer, and the lint trap is like right against the door of the dryer for my dryer. I know sometimes it's like at the top. Oh my god, it was overflowing. Like literally I opened it and lint fell out.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, holy shit, he could have burned down my whole goddamn apartment. So, you know what? Maybe that's what broke my back. Maybe the stress of seeing that is what broke my back.
No.
Because I pinched a nerve right after I saw that.
No.
So when he gets back, I'm going to have to be like, okay, man, you don't do that.
Yeah, that's those are those little like household things that, you might not think about if you've never had to do it. So it's yeah.
Like a friend of mine from high school, she posted a picture on Facebook of bubbles coming out of her washing machine. And she goes, I don't know what I did. And I was like, did you put dish soap in it? And she goes, yeah, that's what you're supposed to use, right?
Absolutely.
And I was like, no, that is not what you use. And I was like, how did you not know that? Like, didn't your mom ever have you do dishes while you were living with her? And she's like, no. And I'm like, bro, you have 2 kids and you're pregnant with your
Holy
third.
cow.
You need to know how to do the fucking dishes.
Also, it's like, it's a machine, it's not like you're hand washing dishes like it's the frickin' 50s or something. We have technology. It's like the most simple kind of mechanism once you know how to use it, and it's like, just buy the soap for each associated process. It's like, buy the gallon of liquid soap or whatever for your laundry, and then buy the dish soap for your dishwasher, and it's like, I don't know. It's like, I always see that too. It's like some people, or they're like they're like Luddites. They're like, oh, I don't want to use the machine. I'm just going to do it myself. And it's like, okay, that's going to take you like 8 times longer or more, unless you're like, unless you get off on this or something. It's like, just...
So I'm going to tell you guys a fun fact. A dishwasher is actually not a dishwasher.
Okay.
It's a dish sanitizer.
Yeah, okay, yeah. It's the cleany weenie.
So a lot of people think that they can just toss dirty dishes into the dishwasher, no problem. It's whatever. But you can't. You actually need to get off the worst of the grit and grime before you can just toss it in there.
Well, yeah, this lends into the common sense zone too. It's like, obviously, if you have like whole chicken wings and like big chunks of food on there, you can't just put that in. It's like you rinse it once, you turn on the frickin' what is it? I can't think of words today. It's the food disposal in the sink, and
Garbage disposal?
Yeah, that disappears, and then you put it's still grimy a little bit, but it's like not covered in chunks of food into the dish sanitizer, and then there you go.
Yep.
Wait, you're not supposed to put dish soap in the dishwashing machine?
No! God, no.
I never knew that.
It's too bubbly, and so then it will literally like foam your whole kitchen. You crack it open, a cold one.
Do you want really clean floors? Because that's how you get really clean floors.
I actually thought about doing that once, but then I didn't know what would happen.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah, it's complicated. Not all soap is the same, even though that's a funny, joke.
Not all soaps are created equal.
No, it's all very different.
Anyway, Vermont, about what you were talking about the slavers.
What?
Yeah. What about
Wait,
it?
who did Vermont?
You were saying something about slavers and their kids.
Yeah, I talked about it, but I finished.
Aren't kids essentially slaves
So
anyway?
someone in the chat did bring up something interesting, and it did kind of give me an idea for a story, which actually it's a pretty simple idea. But anyway, so this guy in the chat just brought Chaotic Babies was saying, good twist in Fallout 3 would be if you born into Raiders, taken to live in Vault 101, and so on. I actually just thought, why haven't we done a story about Raiders yet? Like, from that perspective. Like, I don't think I've seen a Fallout Equestria story done about and from the perspectives of Raiders.
I have. I forgot what the name was.
Isn't that what Battle Blade is?
The name is Confessions Episode 1, you bunch of jerks. The whole first episode is about an ex-Raider.
Yeah, but I mean, I never listened to that.
Okay,
one.
yes, thank you so much. Yes, if you're interested...
You don't listen to your own content.
Hey, if all of our audience can keep forgetting about the Duchess horror and keep bringing out the fact that we haven't done a story about Lovecraft, I can forget about Battle Blade.
Okay, I know it's not the biggest story, but it's like
about...
I'm trying to squeeze more stuff of her in there, and yeah.
That's the other thing. I'm sorry if among the 10 hours of Confessions content, I forgot the 120-minute story. I'm sorry, but yeah, no, I think there's...
If it makes you feel any better, Vermont, I don't listen to any of the Wasteland Survival Guide stuff when it gets put up.
It's like, I already recorded that shit. Freaking fuck off.
It's like, I listened to it. I'm the one who did that. I know what it sounds like.
Yeah, I never go and re-listen to any of the Terminal Secrets stuff, but that's partially because before it gets uploaded, because of Terminal Secrets 1 having been uploaded with really, really shitty audio, which was 100% my fault, I now listen to every episode of Terminal Secrets like 10 times over before it goes up. So
wait, was that when I was like, dude, he used the bad version?
Yes.
I loved some of the comments, though, where they're like, is this, like, supposed to be meta? Because I'm getting a headache from the audio. I'm sorry, but that was a little bit funny.
Yeah, no, that was just, that wasn't meta. That was just Vermont being awful at audio editing, okay? His profession was as a video editor,
That's okay.
not an audio
That's why
editor.
we have Kelly now.
That's why we have Kelly, and thank God for Kelly. Now I can just... I mean... Actually, I've got to say, I love having a hierarchy of people to work with. It's like, I'll take a cursory listen through the audio, voice actors send, but then after that, I will send it to Kirby Crackle, who is the new Terminal Secrets voice director, and he will go through it all, and if there's an issue, he will contact the voice actors, and he'll deal with that, and I don't have to touch it, and then it goes to Kelly, who will clean everything up and stick it all together, and I'm just sitting pretty. I'm just sitting pretty.
Yeah, it is nice when there is a good, a good assembly line that functions properly, and it's been...
That's kind of what I do with Speak. I get the voice actors, I have them read their lines, and if I don't like it, I make them redo it right then and there. We're in a Skype call when they're doing it. So I'm like, I'm sitting there playing video games, and they're reading to me, and I'm like, I don't like the way that sound. Redo it.
That's actually...
So they'll redo it, and then we'll send it off to, oh, fuck, what's his name? What's he go by? Lecter. We'll send it off to Lecter, and I'm like, here you go, Lecter, have fun. And then he sticks everything together, and he's really good at that.
Nice.
He's not so good at getting everybody to read the things and make them sound good. So that's my job.
That's what I do for final reviews of Confessions, too, is I turn off the radio in the Wasteland, and I turn the sound down, and then I just listen through the story as I'm just, like, kind of screwing around in the Wasteland. And, of course, it's, 127 times! No, just the one final time. And then usually the lead actor or actress also listens through, and then sometimes I Am Shadow will take a listen through everything too, because she's got this little bit part in all of them now. So yeah, it's pretty fun, and also we're getting closer to Confession 6. I'm very close. It's like now that I'm settled in, I can have weekends of time to set aside and get that finished up, because now we have such great artists who are cracking up, all the good arts. We've always had good artists, and actually, Krelek contributed a great piece for this episode, so it's going to be fun.
Is it the butt piece?
It is not the butt piece. It is the title card piece, actually. So.
Wait, I contributed something?
Yeah, you remember from like 3 months ago?
Oh yeah, you mean that ice thing?
Kind of.
It's not actually a butt piece, Vermont. I'm trying to be vague about it.
Don't tell anyone.
Yeah. It's funny because I actually do kind of feel sorry for our artists, because we basically batter them with art requests on an almost non-stop basis. Every now and then we kind of have to give them a break for like a few weeks. Or
that's more you than me. I draw my own fucking art for Wasteland Survival Guide, which I'm very proud of. By the way.
No, okay. To be fair, it's mostly me, because behind the scenes is so ridiculously art heavy. It's so fucking. It's almost.
Yeah, you're cray.
I can't. It is.
Yeah, about that. I've started to notice some changes in my art style. I'm not sure if that's because it's just evolving.
I like it.
You're actually getting a lot better. I've noticed you're getting better.
Yeah, I really, really dug that piece you did of your OC with Tempest Shadow.
It's got a good angles, good shot composition, because that's so important that a lot of artists don't always get right away, is actually putting everything together in the right place. Yeah, it's
Yeah, I use references. That's the important thing. Some artists don't use references.
Well, yeah, it's just getting, just if you, whatever you do, what kind of art thing you do, just look at stuff that you already like, and then that will give you ideas. It's like, it's just like everything else. It's built on, standing on the shoulder of giants, the old phrase from Newton, where it's, good influences and see what they do, and then do your own thing kind of off of that.
Exactly.
Springboard.
Oh my god, it is. Fucking, what else do we have to discuss? The fact that what other? Oh, we should do an episode about this. We should do an episode of a thing about ghouls in a stable. That hasn't also. I don't think that's also been done yet. Maybe something.
We could talk about what I did the other day.
I think you're just fucking around now.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to.
You better be.
Ooh, let's do a story about engineering. We can go. I think I have this one friend, a friend of a friend of a friend who's an engineer. We can ask him for advice, because we don't know any engineers.
If you enjoyed The Engineer, you should greatly like episode 6. I feel like it's got a lot of similar kind of things you enjoy.
We could talk about the thing that I did on Thursday.
Okay, what did you do on Thursday?
We'll talk about the thing you did on Thursday.
You know what I did on Thursday.
What did you do on Thursday?
Oh wait, you don't know what I did on Thursday?
Is this some kind of joke?
No,
No, I'm serious. I'm serious. Like, I posted in the chat. I am now an ordained minister.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, this, of course. Yes, I was actually talking to a friend of mine about it because you kept marrying us in the chat.
You're like the Gus now of the podcast. Oh my gosh.
So all of the men of EAST Corp are now married because I am a legally recognized ordained minister.
Wait, what is that? I don't know what that is.
Non-consensual
it means that okay, so when people get married, they need somebody who is a registered minister, and then they need witnesses. And the minister basically says, yes, I know you're doing this. This is my signature. You are now recognized by the state of blank that you are now married. I can also perform last rites, which basically means if somebody dies, I can go up to them and I say, you are absolved of all of your sins. God has forgiven you.
Which is really great, considering that you're about to die, so you can just quickly absolve yourself.
Yeah, I'm absolved, guys. I can
like some kind of
perform baptisms. Yeah. But the friend who's actually coming to help me, she wants to get married to her wife, and she's having a hard time finding a minister that will, one, accept a gay marriage, and two, not charge up the butt for it.
Yeah.
So
that's a price.
She helped me. She paid for everything to help me get ordained, and I am now legally recognized by all of the United States that I am an ordained minister.
I'm polyamorous, so what do you say about that?
I don't give a shit. Do as you do, boo-boo.
Yeah, just don't do it with her OC.
Yeah, that's,
So, the only thing about polyamorous relationships is if you plan to get married, chances are you can only get married to one person. Because it is still frowned upon as a federal law.
Yeah, polygamy.
So it depends which
technically isn't legal.
Yeah, it depends which country you're in. Like if you're in South Africa, you can get married to multiple people. Polygamy is completely illegal here.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So I can still only work within the confines of the law. But you know, if you want to get married to a dude, that's totally chill. You do as you do. I don't give a shit. I will marry you.
As you have demonstrated by marrying Skybolt and Kelly and Krelak and me together.
You are all married
now. This is a non-consensual podcast, okay? Skybolt? Non-consensual
It's non-consensual marriage. Why the fuck do porn people keep sending me requests on Facebook? Like, you know that, hey babe, you should add me on this and give me your credit card information.
Well, now it's going to be like a meme that you made such a big deal on the podcast. Now people are going to poke fun at that.
Well,
like the webcam chicks on Facebook, like the fake.
You must have liked some kind of website or thing, and so now they handed off you. You know, Google AdSense told you like this thing.
God, no, I don't do that.
I've never found them on Facebook, but I get them all the time on Skype. Fucking.
I troll them sometimes. It's fun to talk with them.
I like it when scammers call me, because you know, like, the new thing for scammers is, can you hear me? And then you say yes, and then they, like, take your vocal imprint or whatever. But I get scammers who do that. They're just like, I say things like, are you over 18? Like, because one of the questions is, are you over 18? And I'm like, are you over 18? And then they'll be like, yes. Are you over 18? Are you over 18? And so we'll just go into this big circle, and then eventually they'll be like, I need to know if you're over the age of 18 so that we can
it's also
register you for this special sweepstakes. Are you over 18?
It's also a lie, because you know that program's probably only a year or two old. So that's
I think next time if I get a call like that about with a scammer, I'll just like breathe very heavily into the cell phone.
Yeah, that's why you always answer the phone doing silly voices. That's my point.
Okay, so I work in a call center, okay? I actually have a story for this. I work in a call center. And I'm a debt collector. Like, as many of you know, I'm a debt collector.
We didn't. You told us the last time you mentioned your job in a podcast. You said you weren't allowed to tell us about your job.
I can't tell you specific details, but I can say I'm a
Oregon Mafia.
I do work for the Oregon Mafia. Yep.
Okay.
Which is made out of hippies.
So, anyway, so people tend to think that we are scammers.
Nice.
You know, because people are super like protective of their money, and they're like, oh, I don't know this company any money, I don't believe you, blah 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 blah, even though we can tell them very personal details about them that like regular scammers wouldn't know, you know, like their social security number.
It depends on the scammer.
And so this one time I was calling this guy, and I said, hi, I'm calling from blank, you know, I'm looking for John Smith. I'm just going to give a generic name. I'm looking for John Smith. And he's like, I'm coming for you. I'm just sitting there like, yeah? Are you really? He goes, yes, I'm coming for you. And I was like, really? He's like, I know where you live. And I was like, I highly doubt that, sir. Now I'm looking for this person. Are you this person? And he just kept breathing more and more heavily. And eventually he hung up. And I'm just like, seriously? We're going to call you back in like 30 minutes to try to find this person. So you can either tell me that you are this person or you are not this person. And we can move from there.
Yeah, you couldn't pay me to do a job like that. You have much more patience than I do. Oh my gosh.
I have a lot of patience. I was actually getting screamed at by this customer yesterday because his accounts were being handled by a third-party company that he was paying to take care of everything. And he's just like, I talked to this company and they told me that legally you can't contact me anymore and blah, 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 blah. And I said, okay, well, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to do a settlement or are you trying to do a consolidation? And then he started using 3 different terms as if they were the same thing. And he started getting mad at me because I was telling him, no, sir, those aren't the same things. Those are different things. If you're doing this kind of thing, we can still contact you. If you're doing this sort of thing, we can't contact you. And so I slowly broke it down for him, and I explained the difference between a consolidation and a settlement and a few other things. And he goes, oh, I am so sorry. I was confused. Yeah. I feel like an asshole now. I didn't mean to come off any kind of way. And I just started laughing. I was like, it's fine, really. You're confused and you're angry, and people tend to do that when it comes to their money. Like, when they don't know what's going on with their money, people get angry.
Yeah, that's why, in general, I try to be as nice or polite as I can on phone operator calls, because it's like, they have no idea what any of this really is. These are, these are jobs that just everyday people have to do. It's like, okay, I gotta call you about this, or it's like, it's like the Comcast guy can't come for a week and a half. It's like, okay, let me know when you're free, It's like, the guy that shows up, he didn't set it up that way. It's the frickin' system. It's the big system above all that.
Exactly.
So.
Like this.
So I'm going to give everybody a little piece of advice. This is just in general. When you have to deal with somebody on the phone, like you have to call customer service or something like that, if you are polite, they are more likely to work with you. The sooner the sooner you start screaming at them and throwing cuss words and just being an asshole, they're not going to want to help you. They're going to want to make your life as difficult as they possibly can. And they will tell you things like, oh, we can't do that, or oh, that's not allowed, or blah, 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 blah. But as soon as you start being like, hey, man, I know that this isn't your fault, but this is really frustrating. I wish we could do something about this. They're more likely to help you. They're more likely to want to waive fees or fix something. Like, one time I totally got screwed over by Sprint, and I was really pissed off. And I called the customer service, and I'm just like, hey, this is really fucked up. Like, I'm really angry. What can we do to fix this? They're like, tell you what, we'll go ahead and waive an entire month of your bill. So this month, don't even worry about paying your bill. It's all taken care of. And it was just because I was like, I know this isn't your fault, but I'm really angry about this. And they fixed it. So the sooner you realize that these people are just doing their jobs, some of them genuinely want to help. Like, when it comes to my job, I genuinely want to help my customer. I genuinely want to make their life a little bit easier. But as soon as they start throwing cuss words and saying that I'm a shitty person, I'm just like, fuck you, I don't want to help.
She's lying. She's going to break your legs. Oh, you haven't paid up your debts, you know? Some very serious problems can come up if you don't pay. The Portland Mall.
I actually do have to say that sometimes because of the part of the company I am in. I'm in a part where people are delinquent 6-7 months, almost 8 months sometimes. And at that point, they're so far in debt, it's not even funny.
Debt is very complicated.
And so I have to be like, if you don't pay this, then there can be some very serious consequences. And legally I can't tell them, like, I know what happens. Yeah. I know exactly what happens when their account is charged off, but they don't. So I have to say, you're going to need to contact your financial advisor in order to find out what happened. Or in order to find out what will happen. And some of them are like, oh, well, I don't have a financial advisor. And I'm like, tell you what, go ahead and do an internet search about what charge-off means. And they'll usually get really quiet. I'll hear the sound of a keyboard clicking. And they'll go, oh. Let's get this taken care of, because charging off is a big deal, and like, I can't tell you what happens when you guys charge off because I am not a trained financial advisor, even though I know what happens. So if you guys ever want to know what happens when you're 7 months past due for a credit card bill or something like that, Google what charge off means. It's not fun. It's not a good thing.
That's also
most people.
Sorry.
Sorry,
I was just going to make an aside that's like, it's also very important when it comes to taxes. Whatever you do, make sure the taxes are taken care of first, because if you get under, like, the bad side of the IRS, they remember. It's like, that's why one of our country's founders, Ben Franklin, one of his most famous quotes is, 2 things are certain, death and taxes. And that's because they never forget. They will hunt you down until you die.
And
just moved to Puerto Rico.
That's very true, man. Like, what was I saying? A lot of people, when I call them, they're just like, "Fuck it, I don't care. Let it charge off. I'll take care of it then." And I'm like, "No, you really don't want this to charge off. You really, really do not want this to charge off. I can't tell you what happens, but here, do an internet search real quick. I'll give you however much time you need to find out what happens. Go ahead, go look it up." And like I said, then they'll get really quiet, and then they'll come back, and they're like, ooh. Yeah.
So why can't you tell people what happens with that?
Because I am not a trained financial advisor. Yeah. I work with a company who deals with money, so I am told what happens when accounts charge off, so that I know the urgency that I need to attempt to convey to our customers to let them know that they do not want to charge off. But I cannot tell them what happens, because if for whatever reason they take my word as law, then it's very possible that they could use my words. Like, say I told them that when they charge off they get a puppy. Okay? Say I tell them that. They can go and they could sue the company I work for and say, "Oh, Needles did show me that I get a puppy when I charge off, and I didn't get my goddamn puppy." Yeah, see, Chris just Googled it. Now he knows what happens when your account charges off. Fucking pay your bills, guys.
So Neil, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna take a recording of you talking about getting a puppy if you don't charge off, and or if you pay your bills or whatever it was. And then I'm going to go and send it to all your customers, and then they're all going to want a puppy from you.
But the thing is, you don't know what company I work for.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
She works for the Portland Mafia.
And most of you don't even know my last name, so you couldn't find out where I work.
Yeah, but to be fair, I think
the only person who knows my last name is Skybolt.
And I forgot.
I know your last name.
Do you?
Yeah, I think it's part of your Skype
I thought you were
name.
gonna say it for a second. Holy hell!
No, obviously I'm not gonna.
It's like we are live streaming. We cannot undo this easily.
Easily, you're saying that there's a way to.
Well, I can delete it after the
it's
fact,
part
but
of
the
my
live
Skype name.
listeners
You're right.
are still live listening.
Yeah.
It is part of my Skype name. You're right.
Yeah. No, so I do know your full name. But obviously, I'm not going to repeat it in the same way that we don't.
Well,
the same way
tell you
that
what.
I never use.
Yeah, my last name is Stitch.
So someone in the chat a little bit earlier was talking about everyone needs to be super nice to their call guys or gals. So Needle Stitch, congratulations, you are now a
I'm
call
always
girl.
nice to call girls.
Wasteland Call Girl.
Well, you know, Derpy had to live for 200 years. Who's to say she didn't have a lot of odd jobs in the middle? Bajka Bow Wow.
Might
Oh
have.
God, yeah, for some really creepy. Oh guys, we're about to have an Oak-Heart.
All right, bring her in. I gotta hear if she's had some kind of bloody injury in the last 3-4 weeks since that podcast.
Oh God, this podcast is about
Hello,
to get.
my love. Oh, she's gone.
Oh, that was
Aw.
short-lived. She didn't even have.
podcast
I got
about to
really
get into the
excited.
podcast.
I was like,
Yeah, she didn't
"Yay!"
even
Oh.
say something fun.
No.
Hello,
Oak-Heart.
Amber Horn.
There we go.
Yay! This makes up for what happened earlier.
So much for sneaky entrance, dear. Bollocks.
You
God,
fucking
go on.
put it in the chat. We all saw.
Well, that went to plan.
It's good to have you. How's it going?
Ugh, fucking awful.
Oh no! Oh, you should have heard earlier in the podcast, but you tell your story first.
I was at
Oh,
work.
ew. That's gross.
Sky, I have 2 jobs now.
Why? Is that besides EAST Corp, of course? We're the best job.
EAST Corp is technically my 3rd
Okay.
job, but I don't get paid for
That's
that.
true. You get paid in love.
That's
That's the most powerful resource.
You get paid
You
in
get paid
needle
in clicks.
appreciation.
Needle
I
appreciation.
get paid by needle somehow. Anyway, yeah, because
She gives you her
I
needle.
was on a morning shift with my other job, and I've just finished a 2:10, and they've put me on first thing in the morning, and then I've got a closing shift at my other job tomorrow as well. So, yay for me!
Well, Needle was telling us about how she's a call girl. Do you want to explain what your jobs are? Without being, detailed, of course.
Oh, girl, I'm a debt collector.
Through calling.
You're a call girl. You're a girl who calls people, or a girl who gets called.
You know, I would come and kick your ass if I weren't currently broken.
Yeah. Needle died earlier. We had to bring her back to life.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't
somehow
have a
made
job.
Oh, God. Before Oak-Heart gets into the story and before the podcast gets any deeper, I am going to have to say goodnight to everyone because it is 12 o'clock now. It is now Thursday over here, so...
Wait.
Thursday,
I was going to say, I don't think that's how time works.
I'm very tired.
Sunday,
I'm very
you mean?
tired.
not first.
Okay, so we're trading off Vermont
Good night,
for
everyone.
Oak-Heart. This is good trade.
Oak-Heart. Yeah. That's a
Goodbye,
good trade.
Vermont's brother, Ben.
Good night, everyone. He went
He's
to
in
sleep
bed.
3 hours ago.
Goodbye, James.
Goodbye.
Oh yeah. All right. Now it's a good podcast.
Now it's time to throw
Yeah.
a party.
Yeah, I've somehow made the chat really happy just by turning up.
See, that's all you have to do. Just got to show up.
Yeah.
Those are the best jobs. So what why has work set you in a particularly bad mood today? You want to go into that?
Well, I don't know if you know, but working 2 jobs is pretty hellish as it
Yeah.
is. Especially when all your
I
shifts...
used to do 20-hour days. Like, I feel it.
Yeah. My first shift at my first job started at 8 o'clock this morning. that finished at 12.
Mhm.
And then my second job was 10 at night, which I've literally just finished about an hour or so ago.
Ow.
Yeah, that's a long day. I agree. We appreciate you coming in, though.
And then, yeah, I thought I would drop in and say hi. And I won't be here long because I'm on first thing in the morning at 6 o'clock, 2 o'clock.
Ugh.
But then that's my second job.
Okay.
My two jobs, one's a corner shop, the other one's a petrol station.
Okay.
Garage. What the hell do you call a petrol station
Gas
over there?
station.
Gas
Yeah.
station.
Gas station. Okay, I'm gonna use American terms. So a 7-Eleven
Okay.
and a gas station.
Okay.
Pretty
For
much.
us, a 7-Eleven and a gas station are the same thing.
They can be the same thing, yes. What do you do at the?
What's a corner?
What do you do at the petrol station? Are you just like the inside person? Because that's sort of like a 7-Eleven, to be fair.
I serve people fuel, cigarettes, tobacco, alcohol, and deli to go,
Okay.
which is basically, I'm pretty sure I don't have to explain what a deli to go is.
Oh, so I'm going to interrupt real quick just because I have an idea.
Yo.
Skybolt, Currency in the Wasteland. That needs to be a chapter.
Oh yeah, there's actually something big coming up about that later. But yes, we'll go into that. Yes.
Because I just watched the thing and it's like, oh, if you want to have like good trading goods, use cigarettes and tobacco products, and if shit hits the fan, and I'm like her saying she sells cigarettes totally reminded me. It's like, oh
No, that's actually very canon in Fallout too. Cigarettes are very high value commodities in terms of caps. Absolutely.
Well, to be fair, both my jobs involve cigarettes and alcohol.
Okay, so Okard has a
It's
very good job.
It's just that the corner shop is pretty much the same as the gas station, except for at the corner shop I don't sell fuel as well.
Well, you do sell fuel, but for people rather than petrol rooms.
Yeah. So
you say
in the
petrol
morning I'm at the gas station 6-2, and then at the corner shop I'm on a 2-9.
Okay.
So I'm gonna be dead.
Yeah, that's a little bit too much. So what's weekly? How many hours are you working right now then?
Oh, let's
So
see.
she's like, think about that.
At the corner shop, I do roughly between 25 and 30 hours a week. And at the gas station, I do cover shifts at the moment, which are roughly 8 hours. So that is 35 hours a week.
Yeah, that's a long week.
I was also doing that alongside college, which is about 16 hours a week.
Yeah.
But college is now finished until September, which I'm really happy about. So I've got more time to do other stuff.
Woo! Yeah. All right. Yeah. No.
Does anyone?
No.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay. Does anyone in the chat have any questions for me while I'm
That's
here
true.
before I
That's
go?
Hit her up, guys.
I miss you and I love you.
What?
I said I miss you and I love you.
Oh, you do Needle Summer! Oh yeah, someone said Ocart X Needle. Yeah,
That's
Needle
already
X
canon.
Ocart.
There's already pictures of it.
I think you mean slash, as in the slash fic.
Wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
There's a pic of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. My other half drew it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Chaotic. No questions, you're amazing. Oh, I'm touched.
See, that's the payment. That's the value. that you're commodity.
I guess.
Oh man, my back is killing me.
Yeah, you missed. You'll have to re-listen earlier in the podcast where Needle died. That was sad.
Yeah, you apparently everybody heard me scream.
Yeah.
What?
I pinched a nerve in my back while I was doing laundry, and I literally screamed and fell to the floor. Like, someone's like, "Did I just hear a scream?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Shit, you alright? You alright, dear?
Right now I'm okay. Once Kenzie shows up, I'm gonna need her to help me off my bed, and then we gotta go take care of my rent and stuff. And I gotta do some very basic house cleaning, like cleaning my cat box, and I can't bend over right now, so Kenzie's gonna have to clean my cat box.
Okay, well, don't push yourself too hard. You've already done yourself more than enough injury.
Right.
In reply to Samuel's question, generic question, favourite genre of music, game soundtrack OSTs, rock, heavy metal, alternative rock, something with a good beat, so including dubstep.
I really like trap.
Oh yeah.
Trap's good as well. That's good to know. Chaotic.
You spelled your wrong, you asshole.
Needle the grammar Nazi. We'll get to any more.
I sent a friend of mine a meme. Like, I joke around with him a lot. We jokingly like flirt with each other. We're just really good friends. But I sent him a meme, and it said, "You had me at the proper use of door."
That's funny.
Well, I've just checked my subscriber count on YouTube.
I think I have one. I think I have one subscriber, because I don't really use my YouTube channel. Though I'm probably going to start using it more for things like video game streaming, and like, maybe I'll start doing lessons. You know what? If I start a Patreon to help buy a new computer, because I need to buy a new computer, one of the things will probably be voice acting lessons.
There you go. Go for it.
Yeah. I checked it this morning, and I've somehow managed to gain an extra 10 subscribers throughout the day somehow.
Nice.
So I'm now on 1,111 subscribers.
Nice.
Sorry. The fuck have you all gone from?
We have to keep the EAST Corp channel above you, though. I'm sorry. We have to focus on that. No, that's great.
Well, the EAST Corp channel is currently on 1,333 subscribers.
Yeah, as soon as we get Terminal Secrets 4 and Confession 6 out, that's going to change. It's going to be great.
Sam, I did say that if I get a new computer, I will play games with people on Steam. So yeah, and then hi Vortex. Even though I'm not high, and I kind of wish I was, because I am in a lot of pain.
Bye, Chaotic.
You gotta get high on
Have
life.
fun.
Gotta get high on life.
Yeah, that really is the bottom line. Is the podcasts are really just a fun way to chat and sort of catch up with each other as well, and then just sort of, you know, make it fun for others and broadcast it.
Yeah, I guess.
Listen to the sound of needle dying.
That was unexpected. That more than anything, I think we were as surprised as you when that all happened.
I was not expecting it. It just happened, and then the scream and the sound of me dying. I promise I will not make that a habit.
Yeah, please don't. We have enough people die on podcasts.
Hey, so now we have the sound of me breaking my back and the visual of me bleeding on the channel. Yay!
I thought the bleeding was my job.
I was gonna say,
because I did that last podcast.
She has the higher bloody count.
No, because I bled on the vlog for BabsCon.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that. I forgot about that.
Quarantined.
I got quarantined.
They had to put you away. those were fun. I'd never done vlogging before, so that was a good time.
Oh, speaking of vlogging, Mums is actually finished with the BabsCon vlog and the Nightmare Nights vlog. So if you guys want to see what I typically do at cons, go check out EuroC Sucks.
Oh yeah, speaking of cons, I need to talk to you about a convention, Skybolt.
Oh yeah, no, now I have money and stuff, looking forward. So especially next year, we'll have a lot of fun things going on.
Yeah, do you remember
about one? It's probably one that you're gonna say no to, but I might put in for a panel anyway.
Put in for it, regardless. And then if they say yes, then we could really talk about things. Absolutely.
Sweet. Okay.
Okay. Remember how I was on about going to a convention in November in Colorado?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's been pushed back to February next year.
That's very realistic in my book, anyway.
Me, probably not, because I'm planning on going to Disney for my birthday, because February is my birthday month.
Okay, I'll be sure to grab you a little something from the convention for your birthday. Muffin related.
You could actually probably send something back with me, and I could likely get it to her, realistically.
Yeah, you're technically closer than I am.
Yeah, technically. Just a wee bit. It's a tiny bit.
Yeah. Also, you drive.
I do drive.
I don't. Not legally,
it's
anyway.
So American. The open road and the highways. Technically, the UK has a good driving culture, too. You just also have a good public transportation culture, so...
You drive on the opposite side of the goddamn road!
Yeah, we drive on the right side. Right as in correct.
You drive on the wrong side.
No, you drive on the wrong side.
No, you do!
We'll never settle this.
No.
What's funny is I think early on we actually did drive on the British side of the road, but then they changed it over for passing reasons. I think there's some justification they had for making that necessary change early on in the process.
We don't want to be like those damn dirty commies.
That's part of it.
That's like a lot of the reason why we have a lot of things in America is because we didn't want to be a part of those damn dirty commies. Like, one nation under God wasn't added until World War II, or during, not World War II, during the Cold War. So in the Pledge of Allegiance, when it says one nation under God, that was only added because we wanted to separate ourselves from the communist regime.
Godless heathens. Yeah, so that was fun times.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Speaking of commies, North Korea's been quiet lately, so that's mostly good. I'm just waiting every day for things to get silly.
You know what? It's because they're like, you know what? They're just gonna kill themselves with their president. We're good. We don't need to touch them.
Yeah. I mean, really, they've been starving since the '90s. Well, they've been starving for a long time, but yeah, we'll see what happens. It's gonna be. Whenever it breaks, it's going to get crazy. So I'm just glad. I feel much more reassured now on the West Coast. I feel like we're more defended than I initially thought. So, yeah.
Needle, Samuel is really hell-bent on killing you.
No. What?
Please don't. I'm already dying.
Bloody Mess Perk. If you like the Bloody Mess Perk, just listen to the Traps podcast or episode. I was very proud of my sound design in that one.
Yes.
All right. Kenzie should be here any minute.
Yeah, no, we can wrap up. I think we've reached. We've had a good podcast. A very interesting variety podcast.
And Oakheart should really go to bed.
Yeah, that's part of it too.
Yeah.
No, we'll do them much more regularly. We're hopefully going to have everything more regular now that I'm finally settled in again in a new place. So we have so many fun things in the works right now. It's going to be great.
So yes, any final questions to either of us before we go?
True.
Ask them while we're still here.
I'll give you 30 seconds.
Steampunk or cyberpunk?
Steampunk.
Okay.
Steampunk.
Actually, I'm really into both. So if somebody could like do a really good mesh of both steam and cyberpunk, that's like the best thing ever.
Fun fact: Fallout technically qualifies
I
as
prefer
diesel.
Magic Tech.
Yo.
Skybolt, ever heard of Magic Tech?
Yes, loosely.
The telephone thing?
No, Magic Tech is you ever heard of science fantasy?
No, I haven't.
It's a combination of magic and technology where they're one and the same.
So like
I threw Fallout Equestria
the Golden
in there
Compass.
a little bit.
Bye, Sam.
Like,
Also, yeah, Tigers, yes. I'm sorry. Bloody lag. Sorry, go on.
I was gonna say you gotta count Star Wars as a science fantasy because even though it's in a sci-fi setting, there are elements of fantasy like the Force and all that.
No, the Force is not fantasy. It's actual like bacteria that causes
gosh.
the Force, the midichlorians.
We don't talk about midichlorians in this podcast.
So technically it is still science fiction because the midichlorians are using the Jedi as a symbiotic in a symbiotic relationship setting. So that's technically biology.
She is right. That it's so interesting how that one concept really retconned so much of the Star Wars universe.
Well, use that one line that Thor said about how magic and science are the same thing in Asgard, in the movies, something like that.
Yes, but that's Thor. We're talking about Star Wars. Those are two completely different.
Not
anymore.
Only
it's
genres,
all the
House of Mouse.
Shut up! It's not the House of Mouse.
Thor's become a Disney princess. They've all become Disney princesses.
I still think like Loki is the best Disney princess.
Absolutely. You just have to see him do like sassy snaps. I hope he does in the next movie. That'd be great. That's actually one of the scenes that makes the second Thor movie actually redeemable. Is the whole conversation he has with Loki when Loki's in jail there. That was really good. Midichlorian or midichlorian? It looked like you spelled those the same way, unless you didn't.
There's also maxichlorians.
Maxichlorians. See, now when I see midichlorian, I think MIDI like music production. So now it's like, I don't know. That seems like an interesting crossover someone could make.
What is a midichlorian anyway?
It's like AIDS. It's like
is it a
magic AIDS.
It's like they're little bacteria that live within the bloodstream of the Jedi and give them their powers of the Force.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I'm saying it's still science fiction, because technically they live within a symbiotic relationship of the Jedi, which is a host, so they are a parasite, and the Jedi are the host, and that's technically biology. So it's still technically science fiction.
It really brings up an interesting dimension of, like, could you become more Force sensitive by, like, you know, like, isolating and, like, injecting yourself with more midichlorians or something? You
probably could, but I feel like I think from what I like picked up from Star Wars is the midichlorians are passed down from generation to generation. So like for instance, when they found Anakin and they took a DNA sample and they're like, oh, he has a really high midichlorian count. It's because his mother and his father both had a relatively high midichlorian count, but since they died or whatever. I don't exactly remember.
He doesn't have a father.
That made him a powerful Jedi, and he had more midichlorians than the typical Jedi, which is why they were saying, oh, he's the chosen one. He's the one that will bring balance to the Force because he's got more midichlorians. And I think, I feel like the midichlorians are, they need to have a host. Like, they can't live outside of a human host. So if you were to attempt to isolate them, they would die.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. Anakin doesn't have a father because with what happened is Darth Plagueis Emperor Palpatine's master, he did something with the Force, and it made Shivy pregnant with Anakin. So technically, Anakin's father would be a Sith Lord.
Oh my gosh.
So, God, because immaculate conception.
Immaculate Forception.
Immaculate Forception. There you go.
It's a midichlorian dildo. So it's yeah. So essentially, that's why Star Wars became so broken.
Was because of the midichlorian.
I mean, almost like there are two things whenever you ask people about why they hate the first movie. It's going to either be little Anakin's performance, which that's another thing we could talk about, is about how freaking Jake Lloyd is crazy and he's literally in an asylum now, or you know, the midichlorians. So
is he really like literally in an asylum
he got
now?
arrested last year for like a hit and run, I think, and then like a few months ago they're like, you know, you don't need prison, you need a doctor, and so they transferred him to some kind of inpatient facility.
That's so bad.
It's really sad, actually. It's like he must have already had some kind of like tendency towards schizophrenia, and then the awful childhood that unfolded after everyone hated episode 1 sort of made that worse. So
Star Wars just made it worse.
Star Wars ruined his life.
He actually thought the Star Wars universe was real.
Oh man, no, that's what I'm waiting for now, is he's gonna like break out with a broom handle and say it's a lightsaber, you know? I'll try spinning, that's a good trick. I'll try spinning. Yeah, so if you want to see something really sad, actually, you can look up the life of Jake Lloyd since episode 1. It's kind of sad.
Any other questions?
Yeah. What's everyone's midichlorian count? Oh, here's one. What color lightsaber would you have if you could pick a lightsaber?
Purple.
Purple, like Mace Windu, because he's the only black guy in Star Wars.
No, the reason why Mace Windu has a purple lightsaber is because he said, "Fuck you, I want a purple lightsaber." That is literally the only reason why Samuel L. Jackson has a purple lightsaber, because he said, "Fuck you, I want a purple one."
Yeah. I'd take a dark saber because why not? That's cool looking and rare.
I want a purple one because I am purple.
Exactly. What about?
I take purple because black people look good in purple.
What about you,
Not all black people look good in purple.
What about you, Oakart? What color?
Wait, what? Blood red.
Okay, so here we go.
With a blue sheen.
Darth Oakart.
Now, are you picking red because traditionally red was meant to mean Sith, or are you picking red because you like red?
Sith, bra.
I like the color red. It's the color of blood.
So yes, you are picking red because Sith.
Yeah, she's a Sith.
That's pretty Sith, bro.
I also like red because it's also the color of fire, and you know what I'm like with fire.
Okay, so she's Fire Nation. Okay, what's everyone's Avatar tribe? What's your bending?
Wait, first of all, I'm more of a gray Jedi instead of an actual Jedi. I'm somewhere in the middle.
Gray Jedi don't exist because fuck House of Mouse.
Well, technically, what's his name? Qui-Gon Jinn is considered a gray Jedi.
Only Sith deal in absolutes. Yeah, I'd probably be either fire or earth, probably. Yeah.
I'd be water.
I choose air because I choose air.
Because air's cool and stuff.
Because like stronger.
Okay, we've got the 4 nations then. Avatar cycle complete. What other random things did we?
Yes.
Taking legions.
Actually,
Harry Potter houses, go.
Oh, Slytherin.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say something that actually you actually brought up something interesting in my head, Skyball. If people could actually use airbending, like what would North Americans have? What would Africans have? What would Europeans have?
Texas bending.
What kind of bending would they have naturally? I think Africans would probably have earth bending.
Americans would be freedom. Americans would be freedom. We can bend freedom and make you think that you're allowed to have this kind of freedom, but really you don't.
I'd say Europe is probably Well, I mean, they're
Don't drag us into.
yeah. We're talking obviously the non-Asiatics, because I think the Asiatic ones are pretty clear, right? It's like China's the Earth Kingdom, Japan's the Fire Nation, water is Eskimos or Inuits or whatever, and then the Tibetan Nepalese are airbenders.
Nepalese?
Nepalese.
Nepalese?
It's more fun to say it that way.
You can't name something after nipples.
can.
Okay, how about this? Nepal.
Nepalese, yeah. That's what I said.
You haven't seen that? You haven't seen that Family Guy episode?
Oh no, I'm sorry. I actually am not caught up on Family Guy.
Oh yeah, there's this whole episode where like, it's Jesus and God, and Jesus is like, you can't name something nipples. Like that's just gross. And then God's like, okay, Nepal.
I like it. Yes. Oh my gosh. Hello, Phoenix Amaku.
Hello, it's me.
Looking for.
But yeah, no, I would go with Slytherin because why not? Slytherin sounds fun.
Okay, what about the North American school?
Oh yeah. Did they have different classes? I forget. I haven't seen Beast in a while.
They do, but the way that they do their houses is a lot different than the way Hogwarts does it. The way they do it is the students are presented in front of the statues, in front of all four of the statues, which is their different house. And if the statue becomes animated, then that's the house they go into. However, with this house, it is very possible. I have a job now, and I was wondering if I could join your servers, and I like to donate. Yeah, you can donate. Go to our Patreon.
Yeah, that has all the info on Patreon, and for if you have problems, Vermont or Kelly are the ones to talk to, because they set that up, because I don't know how Patreon works, to be honest. They're the ones that set all that up.
But anyway, so with the North American house, I forget the name. With the North American house, more than one statue can become animated for each student, and if more than one gets animated, then they're allowed to pick which one they want to be. So, for instance, I took the test like 4 times, and I got 2 different houses. I got Horned Serpent, and I got Puckwudgie. So I could pick whichever one I wanted to be in. I could be a Puckwudgie, or I could be a Horned Serpent.
Oh,
and Horned Serpent is actually not the Slytherin house. That's Puckwudgie.
It's funny. So they mixed up the silly names with different things. So instead of Hufflepuff, which was the silly name for the British ones, you get Puckwudgie, which looks ridiculous.
Oi.
I'm gonna go with Thunderbird.
Well,
that
that's
sounds
just
cool.
the native North American, like magical creatures is Puckwudgie's Horned Serpent. There's a couple of other ones. A Wumpus.
Body of a witch or wizard. Yeah, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
That's kind of similar to my secondary school, because we had 4 houses. We had York, Barts, I can't remember what the blue one was.
So wait, they actually sort people into different houses in Britain?
Yeah. Hang on, I gotta search this because I can't remember what the other 2 houses were, and I was in Wollaston. Yeah, I was in Wollaston.
Oh my gosh!
I think it's Wollaston. One moment.
It's like a giant meme. Yeah, I mean, in high school, they sort of just do that by your class, your freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior classes, and then they all have their fun inter-class competitions. But, yeah, your way sounds very much more British and old-fashioned. I like it.
Whoa, that was weird.
Whoa. We have Barts, Bede, Wollaston, and York.
Okay, so which one was the most posh?
Red, blue.
Which one's the most upper crust posh, whatever? I thought you'd have a quick answer.
Parts were full of the knobheads. Parts was full of the knobheads. Bede and York were full of the studious people, if one for a better word. And Wallison had me.
Okay.
Wallison had me.
Okay. See, you're gonna let the everyone else assume what that means. Okay.
Yeah.
I love it. This is why we need to get Kelly back on the podcast. We need to have another British Invasion podcast.
And the best thing is, my house colours was red.
Nice.
I loved
it.
Nice.
So,
all right, guys. So I think it's about time to close down. I think we've reached the point where everything is done. So. I need to slowly get up and make sure my door is unlocked so Kenzie can get in.
Yeah, that's important.
And you don't need to hurt yourself again.
Huh?
Take it easy.
I'm gonna take it as easy as I possibly can, because I do need to be an adult and I do need to pay rent today.
That's a good idea. All right, so thank you everyone for joining us. We're glad we could bring on more of our fabulous members for our podcast, and we will talk to you again soon.
Bye guys.
Bye.